You are about to witness history in the making.
What's up, everyone? It's Pop Culture Gamers. Today's Sunday, the 29th of July, 2018, so nearly August. We're on episode 17, and today we're going to infinity and beyond. So, I'm Haydn, and I'm here, as always, with my joint host, Steve. Steve, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
Do you want to do your intro?
Sorry. Yeah, okay, sorry. We'll leave it as... Yeah, it's been a bit of a hard week at work. I don't want to see one of these again the way they are at the moment. I won't divulge into that now, but people that know me and work for me will know the same problems. I start call next week for a week, and then I'm off call for a week, then back on call for a week. So
busy time.
Yeah, I'm covering Chris's call in 2 weeks.
Right.
And then he's covering mine in end of August, September, when I'm off for 2 weeks. So, but that's fine. That means I'm hopefully get a good month's wage come into September for August, building up the overtime again. But yeah. So really, this week it's my wife's birthday this week. So I had something penciled in for the last few weeks. And I was still iffing and butting whether we would be going or not due to what's been happening at work. But I thought, well, sod it. I'm not having my company ruin my wife's birthday. So we went to one of the. I think it's the best restaurant in Christchurch.
Right.
Sort of on par with Michelin, sort of star chef sort of thing.
Okay.
And I said, well, don't worry about the food. I've chosen all the food. And so we had a taster menu. So there was 7 courses with a glass of wine with each course, which complements the dish that you're having.
Yeah. And
it was incredible. It's something I've wanted to do with a few other restaurants in the country. But you can never get booked up for them because it's like months and months.
I'm glad you had that at the end, because I thought you were going to say something I've wanted to do with a few other women then.
No. But as you've probably seen it on Twitter, there's pictures, or on Instagram, I put one there as well. It's a fantastic meal.
Yeah, it did look really nice.
You know, and I think we were, then he's disappointed, we were rushed a little bit, so after sort of a 2.5 hour slot with a glass of red wine before we started, and then the 7 glasses of wine that we had with that, time we got home, I think we were inebriated, I think it's a polite word to use. But that was a lovely meal. Really enjoyed it. That was cool. Vinyl delivery this week, again from Mondo in Texas. I had a 7-inch blue and black swell vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
And if you check out my YouTube channel, I've actually put it on there. So the Steve 007 channel. And it's the 2 tracks from The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, very neat.
And lovely little gatefold 7-inch cover for it with Ellie on the front. We're holding a big, I think it's more like a sniper rifle than most, but yeah, really good couple of tracks there that you've probably heard actually in the E3 of PlayStation. So it's those 2 tracks there.
I don't know whether or not you saw it on Facebook, but somebody had posted a Doom vinyl that was blood red.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, it's funny. It's occasionally the gaming ones are very interesting, and because obviously, I think I might mention it now because there's a little bit to talk about there. It was Comic-Con last weekend.
Yes.
And Mondo themselves, they were there. They had a stall there, and they were releasing stuff through I think it's a 3 or 4 day Comic-Con these days, I think.
Yeah.
Every day they release something out to being there, so they had some specials. One thing they had, which was only 500 copies, which I have emailed them back and they said, just keep an eye out for when it goes online. But they had 500 copies of the dual vinyl album for John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, very neat.
And they all sold out just like that.
I'm not surprised.
They had 500 with them on the stall at Comic-Con.
Mm.
But they said, keep an eye out. We will release something at some point. But what they did do, and I pre-ordered it, is I pre-ordered the soundtrack to the new Spider-Man game.
Okay.
And that comes out later in the month. It's all ready to...
September, isn't it? Isn't it
Yeah.
the same day as Destiny?
I think, yeah, something similar, yeah.
Yeah, the Forsaken expansion.
So that's a double album with coloured vinyl. It looks really sweet, actually. So that's been released. And with my love for John Carpenter, that's why I haven't bought a lot of games these days. I've been buying vinyl. They're releasing, leading up to October, they're releasing a reissuing all the 5 Halloween soundtracks. So they've released for pre-order now for number 4 and number 5, which comes with a nice folder to put them in.
Yeah.
And then they've got Halloween 3, Halloween 2, and Halloween are going to be over the next 2 months.
They're not releasing them all as a box set then?
No, they're releasing them gradually through the 3 months. But there's a nice little box that comes when you pre-order 4 and 5 together.
Right.
Lovely looking art on it, and you can. I don't know if you can get all 5 in there, but I think maybe it's just the 2. But it's really nice looking.
Yeah.
So I had to keep an eye out because they normally do this in the States at lunchtime. So for us, lunchtime in Texas is 5 o'clock in the evening. So I had to pull over on the motorway to do it.
I hope not on the hard shoulder.
No. I did find somebody to pull over correctly. So that was pretty good, yeah. So I'll keep an eye out in August for Halloween 3 because some of these soundtracks are, like I say, slightly expanded to what I've originally got anyway.
Mm.
So that'd be pretty cool. So hopefully I can get all 5 of those. Other than that, really, gaming wise, obviously, I purchased No Man's Sky.
Mm.
In the sale, because there was an Xbox sale, wasn't there? I think it's over
It's
now?
still on. No, it's still on.
I didn't really purchase a lot because my outgoings more on vinyl than gaming at the minute. But I did order the first Resident Evil Revelations game.
I've been looking at that as well, I must admit.
It's only about £6.
It is.
I've got Revelations 2. But I didn't have the first one. And I think I have played it at some point. I think I played it when I used to rent from Boomerang.
Mm.
So this is the one that was on the ship.
Yes.
So I purchased that. And then I also purchased the Royal Edition expansion for Final Fantasy 15. Where at the moment, I'm actually deep in that as well.
Hang a minute. Revelations, that wasn't on the ship. That was 5, wasn't it? That part of it was on a ship.
Resident Evil Revelations is not the Resident Evil games of the others, if you're with me.
Yeah, it's an episodic one that they released over a few weeks.
Yeah, I think when you buy this, you buy the whole thing.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
But,
so Resident Evil Revelations and Resident Evil Revelations 2 are nothing to do with Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No.
Yeah. So you'll have to have a look on them. I'm sure you know what I mean by that.
Yeah, I know what they're not part of the core storyline.
No, they're just something sort of adjacent to, if you know what, in a way of saying it, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and also because I've been playing nearly 19 hours of Final Fantasy
already.
Yeah. Who says I haven't been gaming?
Well, you say you haven't been gaming, to be honest.
No, but
having said that, though, Nicky was saying that every time he switches his Xbox on, he's always seeing you on there.
Yeah, well, I think his hours of work and play are slightly different to mine. There's a slight crossover where I start at about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he's going to work, I think, at that time.
Right.
But yeah, I've been doing a bit of that because I'm a bit of a noob at the moment with No Man's Sky. We'll have a chat about that game. So I'm sure you've been playing plenty. And
I
so
have.
Hopefully you can put me in the right direction, or maybe what we'll have to do is go on together and I'll tell you where I'm at and what I'm trying to do and where do I find these bleeding parts to make this bit, to do that, to get off the planet.
It's crafting, so you have to find all of the relevant parts to build it up.
I know, but I won't say more than that for the minute, because there's one little bit that annoys me with this little bot that keeps trying to shoot me, but anyway.
Yeah, that's because you don't pick anything up when you're near it, because it shoots you.
Anyway, yeah, you can tell me all about that later.
Okay.
Movie-wise, I've actually delved deep in about 4 or 5 movies this week. A few old ones and one interesting one from 2017 with which I think I watched that because the missus liked Gerald Butler. So that's all I'm saying about that for the minute.
Right.
But yeah, I suppose that's about it really. I've much I can think. I'm sure something else will come to mind. But how about you? What you been up to?
Well, it's been a run up to me being off for 2 weeks. So 'cause I am now on annual leave for a fortnight, and unfortunately it's been one of those weeks where, you know, when you wake up and you think, oh, it's Friday, and then you realise it's not Friday, and it's actually Tuesday. And then you wake up on Wednesday and you think, oh, it's Friday, and then you realise it's Wednesday, and you just you just end up feeling like you're having a bit of a Groundhog Day. It's been like that all week, basically. But so I've just been sort of tidying things up, trying to progress some bits of work. Just been complete and utter nightmare. But this weekend has been really quiet because my wife and son went away with my mother-in-law to Morecambe for the weekend.
Is that to the beach there, yeah?
Yeah, while it's been raining. And that's meant that I've been at home looking after the dog and my mother.
And your game to score jumped by how many thousand?
If I'd have concentrated on it, I could have probably have added about 5,000 or 6,000 on it, but I've just been sort of
I'm only saying that for Nikki after reading Facebook. So.
Yeah, I think that Nikki's getting a little bit, jealous now. He's even having to make up fake accounts and saying that he's got one with more score than me.
Bless him. I'm sure he hasn't.
Well, I think we've also got an interesting question in our new bit of Room 101. Our slight twist on the debate about achievements.
Yeah, funnily enough, we forgot to mention it before we started the show. But okay, we'll play along as if we both discussed this already. But yeah,
Well, we have really. We're just pretending that we haven't.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. If you remember last week, we said to you, we'll do Room 101 as part of the debate rather than just having the same, 3 choices and we choose the highest vote in one. So this week we've got a few people who've put stuff in. If anybody else wants to submit a Room 101, we're going to do them on a month, once a month, I think, as, part of our debate section. And then we'll just do the normal voting other times. So it's just how we're just updating the show. It's been, 6 months since we launched, so we're just trying to find and experiment with new ways. Nobody's actually recorded the voice. Because I said that if you wanted to, you could record your question and send us it in, or send us a link to it from a Dropbox so that I could download it and put it into the show. But no one's done that yet. But if anybody wants to,
poor show.
Yeah, poor show. But you're more than welcome to if that's what you want to do. The only thing that we always say is just keep it clean, because we're just trying to be a family-friendly show like that. But other than that, anything else is fine as long as it's PG rated. So I've basically been catching up on a few Blu-rays this week and this weekend, funnily enough. But I've also have been having a bit of a game with a couple of things. I've also been playing No Man's Sky and progressed further than what it appears that you have. But then again, I had played it before, but it is very different, and I'll come on to talk about that later on.
Yeah.
Movie-wise, watched 2 Star Trek movies, the 2009 one and Into Darkness, on 4K, and I'll talk about those later on as well. Also watched Extinction on Netflix. Now, this is something that you're going to quite like, and I'll talk about that later as well.
Because I think I walked in one day when the wife was on watching TV, and I think she was watching this movie, if it's the right one I'm thinking about.
Yeah.
And I said, well, thanks for not letting me know about this movie. But I don't think she watched it all anyway. So
I'm not sure how old it is, to be quite honest. But the main star in it is Ant-Man's sort of like sidekick from the first and second movie. You know, the Mexican-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the main star of it. So I'll talk about that later as well.
Oh, no, actually, no, that is not the film I'm thinking about. I'm just looking on my phone. I've got Netflix on it at the moment. Okay. Maybe that's something we can watch.
Yeah, I think it's quite new. Anyway, we'll talk about it later because that'll be in the film bit. So, also, my Elite controller has gone the same way as yours with the rubber grips on one side now.
I'm glad someone else is actually experiencing this that knows me, because they all think it was just me with hot hands, as I'm so hot anyway.
Well, to be fair, when it happened, it was absolutely roasted and my hands were sweating profusely.
Yeah.
But I've gone down, matter of fact, it had started to happen before and I just got a little bit of super glue and stuck it down and it was fine. But it started lifting off on places where I didn't glue it down. Yeah,
because obviously you're further around the where you hold it, the bubble's moved up a bit and it's just popping out, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So what I've done is I've ordered some scuff grips.
Okay.
So there were $23.99, and you also get 6 sticks with it as well for the Elite.
You'll have to show me them, because obviously I've used one of those rubber sleeves over the whole controller, which does a good job.
That one that I showed you. Yeah.
But at the moment, I've actually not even been using my Elite controller. I've actually stick to using the one that comes with the Project Scorpio.
See, to be honest, I mean, I must admit, my Project Scorpio controller, I wasn't really that fussed on it. To be honest, I ended up giving it to Adam for, in his bedroom's console.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I would probably do an unboxing and a video review of it and show how easy or not it is to fit. One thing I do know though is I'm going to have to be very careful, because I noticed that because I used super glue, it's sort of like welded the side that's not stuck down as well. If you put it together, and it's sort of like merged, so I'm going to have to cut that little bit. But evidently it's quite easy to do. It's just like a flip out piece. So
do you actually take the rubbers off completely then?
Yeah, and not on the inside of the controller, on the outside.
Right.
So depending upon where the rubber's coming off on your controller, I suppose, is sort of like the key. You would have thought that they would have done it on both sides, but...
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I was just looking at... While you're chatting now, I was just doing 2 jobs at once, and who was it that put in there? Who did that? Was it you?
What's that?
When I showed a picture of my unboxed...
Oh, yeah, that was me, yeah.
Class, yeah, I love that. But so I thought it was...
Well, you might as well share the joke.
Yeah, but so what it is, on Twitter, instead of trying to do an unboxing of a vinyl, it seems a bit pointless to a certain degree, because it's only a small vinyl in there, and it was obviously the PlayStation for The Last of Us Part 2. So I thought I'll show the box, then I'll unbox it, and then take it out and show them the box empty, then do the YouTube link to that so they can then see the YouTube clip. And obviously, my love for Nintendo isn't great anyway, and you just put the new lab toy.
New Labo toy.
Yeah, I love it. That's brilliant. It's tickled me.
I thought you would appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Love it.
So, anyway, so that's my Elite controller. I've just sent you a link to what I've ordered, so you can have a look and see yourself.
Just have a look now. Oh, okay.
So it looks quite cool.
Yeah, you have to show me once you've put it together how well it goes back together.
I will do.
Yeah.
And my last thing is, I've ordered a new console.
Go on, enlighten, because I don't think you need a new one really, but what do I know?
No, I don't. But it was actually because of a Room 101 question.
Oh, okay, that's what you've ordered. I get it. I'm there now before you even say it. Okay.
So I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah, I'm asking you why though, without saying what it is. Why?
I was intrigued by it. I've always been intrigued by it, and I thought I quite actually fancy trying it.
Yeah.
And if you actually look online, if you go to Weebit, they're ridiculous prices.
What, you mean stupidly cheap?
No, I mean
the other way around.
I mean, some of them you could actually buy an Xbox X for the same price, and everybody's thinking, "What on earth is this console now?"
Yeah.
But if you look in CEX, you can also get them for £25.
Game 19.99, eBay 118. Are you kidding me? Or someone just having a laugh? But okay, yeah, right. Well, okay, we'll save that for later.
I just thought it'd be something different, to be honest.
Yeah,
but we'll save it for later so that you can find out. So it's going to be a bit of a suspense in the air.
I'm going to rib you on that for that. I tell you, you're looking at what I'm reading here. Okay, that's cool.
Do you know one of the other reasons why as well is because it's got Flixster on, or you can install Flixster on it. And
right, isn't there a Flixster app for your TV or not?
No, there isn't one for LG.
Isn't there?
No.
Okay.
So, also, there is a logic behind it as well.
Maybe, yeah, because you've got a lot of Flixster movies, haven't you? I know, I'm well aware of that.
I've got about 80 or 90 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there you go. So, with that, we'll move on to the first section for Gaming This Week.
No longer a dream, but a reality.
All right then, so only a small bit of news because it is that quiet sort of time of the year, but Shadow of the Tomb Raider, despite it being out for release on the 14th of September, it has actually gone gold. So it's just to let you know that, and also, who knows, does this mean we might actually get an early release? Because that never happens in the video game industry, or very rarely.
I think there is a few games that do go gold that being pre-ordered.
Yes.
I think that just as much as what it means is that they've hit their targets.
Well, it means that the game's finished development. That's what it means.
Oh yeah. And I think the pre-orders that go with it as well actually make it go gold as well. I think I'm not too sure, but well, look at some of the other games that are around the corner. That certain game that I decided to go on its first part of its early release, and now it's finally coming out soon. You know, We Happy Few.
Yes.
Interesting. Whether that's gone gold or not, who knows? Well,
that game I think is becoming more and more Bioshocky by the day, isn't it?
Yeah. True.
So I think that while you were quite unhappy at first, I think you're going to be quite delighted at it by the end.
It'd be interesting because at least I haven't got to pay for it to own it already.
No, I'm kind of wishing that I'd bought it now as well, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see what you think of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go on?
If we just, it's a shame we didn't do some bit on. It's a shame we didn't do a little bit on Comic-Con, really. Because did you watch much of that at all?
I didn't have time. But this is video game news. This isn't.
No, I know. I can talk about. I'll talk about it later when we go to movies. Anyway, we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Anyway,
because there's been lots of good things on there, hasn't there?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that in the movies bit. So, do you want to do the new releases and I'll do the charts?
Yep. Okay. So, we start for the 24th of the 7th. We've got the Banner Saga 3 or Saga 3 digital on all 4 formats.
And one for you, Steve.
Yeah, Train Sim World. Now, this is not. I don't think this because I already own Train Sim World. I'm already playing it.
Well, we playing it on pre-release, or is this another version?
No, I think this is the. This may. I don't know because there's some DLC for it. For some more trains. So I need to buy a hat and a whistle.
Get your thermos. And your camera and your dirty Mac.
That's it. But that's coming out also on the 24th. I mean, Train Sim World's already out, but it may well be that it's now going. I think what it is I've just seen it on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I think this is more of a worldwide release within all the consoles.
Yeah, it might be.
So maybe it's that. 27th of the 7th, we have Go Vacation on the Switch. We have Hello Neighbor on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch and PC. We have No Man's Sky, of course.
Yes.
Rainbow Deluxe Edition on the PlayStation 4 and the Switch.
Runbow, not Rainbow.
Do you know what? I'm too far away from the screen. I'm using the wrong glasses. Anyway, thank you very much for that. The Banner Saga Trilogy, PlayStation 4, Xbox One. We have the Coma Recut. I don't know how you can comb your hair, but there you go. Whatever that's about, who knows? We got WarioWare Gold on the 3DS for Nintendo. 31st of the 7th, we've got Sea of Thieves Cursed Sales Digital on Xbox One and PC. And on the 2nd of the 8th, This Is the Police 2. This is digitally on the PC. So
yes.
I thought it might be something to do with Sting, but maybe not.
Okay, so
charts
for this week. This is you can tell this is the beginning of the summer holidays by these charts.
It's nothing mildly moved, is it? By looks of
no, it's very different because we've got rid of FIFA and everyone. This is different. So at number 5 is Sonic Mania Plus. For those of you who really can't get enough Sonic. Number 4, Minecraft Xbox Edition. How on earth is this game still being sold and it's at number 4? Who hasn't got that? Number 3, Sea of Thieves. Number 2, staying at number 2, Lego The Incredibles. And number 1, staying at number 1, Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
Just shows there's not a lot out, is there?
And also,
there is, but maybe it's more digital coming out these days before they go to boxed versions.
Well, I think that these charts take into account digitals as well. But, when you look at that is very much a kid's chart.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're all kid-friendly titles.
Yeah, well, FIFA 19, obviously, is now being outed, and what's going to happen with that. So, therefore, people with the FIFA 18 are going to start trading those in.
Yeah.
So it's just the way I think this time of year goes, to be honest.
Yeah. This is where you buy FIFA for, £50 at the beginning of the season, and at the end of the season it's £1.
Well, I've now got number 18. But I'm running a little bit delayed, but that's fine because it's not like it's a great deal of difference.
Why do you buy it? Because you get it in EA Access anyway.
Oh, you do eventually. I got it in a sale at one point, but I know I'll be looking forward to the new one because hopefully we'll have the Spurs new stadium sitting in there as well. So that will be tempting at that point, but that's a long way off yet.
Right.
Sorry,
I'm not convinced.
No, football goes over it anyway. But anyway, should we do Games for Gold?
Yes, you do Games for Gold. Okay,
right. So, August. Xbox One on the 1st to the 31st, we have Forza Horizon 2. And from August the 16th to September the 15th, we got For Honor, which you've purchased on PC recently, haven't you, if I remember rightly?
No, I got the free version.
Okay.
Because there is one where I think you only get one hero or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I haven't actually played it yet. I just downloaded it, but haven't played it.
Yeah, so this will be interesting, actually, to see how this... actually go into this game a bit and see more about it, because I think it's a bit of a one that, people weren't too keen on, I don't think.
I must admit, I'm really quite interested in playing it. Just because it does look fantastic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Isn't it done... It looks a bit like, Kingdom of the Fallen. I think it's done by the same creator, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So that's probably why it looks similar.
Yeah. So 360, we have from the 1st to the 15th of August, we've got Dead Space 3, which I think are already still own.
Yeah, I do, but it's not the best one out of the franchise, and it's the only one that I didn't complete just because it had loads of multiplayer levels. And they shoehorned microtransactions and multiplayer into the game for no reason at all. It wasn't needed.
No.
Dead Space 1 and 2 were fantastic games.
They're creepy as hell, they were. They made you jump, I know that.
Oh, yeah. I loved them. Absolutely loved them. But Dead Space 3, I got to a bit where you're flying around outside. I thought, I'm sick of this.
Yeah. Anyway, so the last game we have from the 16th to the 31st of August, we've got Disney's epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two. So
I've got that on the Wii U.
So that's a platformer to have. They're not bad, some of them Disney games.
No, the graphics are very good on it, to be honest.
So, yeah, not bad.
Not bad
and
at
obviously, PlayStation 4, we have a little while to wait for that.
Yes, because it won't be announced until the 1st, will it? And then it doesn't get released till, what, the 5th?
Something like that, yeah.
I do wish it would just do it month by month. It'd be so much easier, so much more convenient.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to actually be giving more games out inadvertently over the year.
No, that's right.
But it's Sony. Sony do things differently.
Oh, they certainly do that.
Yep. Okay. So, with that, what have you been playing, Steve?
Okay, let's we'll leave No Man's Sky to last, and we'll shoehorn that into your chat. So we start with Detroit Become Human. Because my controller was low on charge for my Xbox, I thought I'll go and charge that and put the PlayStation on.
Now there's the advert for PlayStation Pro, isn't it? PlayStation Pro for when your Xbox controller needs a charge.
It does, yeah. So I put it in, I thought, okay, so I went in there and then I couldn't get online. I couldn't with the PlayStation Store. And I remembered that I was on it the other day on my phone and they were requesting me for whatever reason to put a new password in.
Oh, account's been hacked, mate.
Pain in the backside. Anyway, so I sorted that out and thought, well, okay, let's put Detroit on. So I did this, I think it was this morning actually. So you completed it well and truly. You're done and dusted.
Yeah.
Me, I'm playing this like I'm watching a TV show because episode a week or something. I think. So I've done a couple of stories, which lead me to finding Jericho.
Yes.
So this would be the band of androids that are rebellious to the slavery that they've been put through.
So you're about a third of the way through the story.
A third, okay. So it was funny because obviously what you had to do to find Jericho, you had these signs and graffiti all around the buildings.
Yes, yeah, to look at them.
And that's right. So I did all of that, and then I think it's once I did that, I then went back to the story with the cop, and did the story where we were in this house, trying to find. It's all pigeons everywhere.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch the guy because my wife was talking to me at the time. And with this game, you don't need anyone near you when you're trying to do the button to push, the R trigger to do in a dash and a run. So I ended up losing him. But I think that's how it ends anyway. So
that wasn't like the one where you went to see the android's version of Tyrell and got the where it was gave you a gun and gave you a choice.
No, it was not. So
no.
Thank
Have
you
you
very
seen
much
that bit?
No, I'm not even there yet. So spoilers, thank you very much.
Well, I'm not telling you how or what it means or anything.
No. Anyway, all I say, I found went through the signs, went through the ship, found the guys at Jericho, and that's where I've left it.
You really need to get playing this game faster, man.
But the trouble is, I'm in Final Fantasy 15. And ever since I popped that back in and started from scratch, I'm 19 hours in. I'm level 29, I think, roughly at the moment for the characters. Mm-hmm. They all actually do the 4 characters that you're with. Your boy chums that you're in the story. They all level slightly differently with what you're doing with them. But basically, I think I'm 29 roughly as the main character. I'm just around chapter 4 at the moment, out of 13, I think. So there's a long way to go. And at one point, I had to find these sort of these statues, which were giving me this sort of power and stuff like that. And I did all that, and then we lost the regalia car, which I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah.
It's this lovely looking car. And so I'd been running around on my Chocobo, doing little bits and bobs and a few fetch quests and what have you. And I'm now just parked my Chocobo to one side, ready to storm a building to get the Regalia car back. And that's where I'm up to. So I do know, I suppose it's not really going to be a spoiler, but even I know this, but I've just heard about it, that at some point the Regalia car will fly. So I'm assuming that's going to be an upgrade I've got yet to find.
I'm assuming that they're not going to run into Agent Phil Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to get that car to fly.
God
or
knows
Dr. Emmett Brown.
No, I don't know. But yeah, I really do love that game. It looks absolutely gorgeous still. I think it's one of the best looking games on the Xbox One X.
To be honest, though, Final Fantasy, whatever platform it's been on, has always been the most gorgeous looking game. Even when you go back to PS1, I remember looking at that and thinking, oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, but where then you had these cutscenes which were gorgeous and then it went down into the pixelation of what you were playing. This game, the sky looks incredible. The grass, all the land and the area, it looks brilliant. And because it's real-time fighting, it's not turn-based, it's pretty good, I think. I know it's not your cup of tea.
Well, I used to be a big fan of Final Fantasy, but I think it was that one where you had to play it for 24 hours and get past that creature, which I never did do.
Yeah. Before
it started to get good, that was the bit that sort of killed me off with the franchise.
Yes. Well, it's funny because with what you're doing is you get these tombs where you find these swords which are quite powerful to use to fight with. Mm-hmm. And I've found about 3 of them so far. And I've got this suit on that makes me not completely indestructible, but it does help with your HP and all that, with your mana power, experience points and everything else. And I've just unleashed my first... back in the day with Final Fantasy, you'd have like a god that you could like summon of some kind.
Yeah, they're called Eternals or something, weren't they?
Yeah, and I did this for the first time while I was battling a creature that was massive, just doing its own thing in this field. I'm level 29 roughly, and this was a level 50. But I took him out eventually. I just love it. It's a great game. Really is. Just, I don't know. I know this game's it's quite old now.
Yeah.
It's been going for over a year, I think. But I think people that do love Final Fantasy that may have not given it enough time, go back to it and give it a go. I really do enjoy it.
I have to admit, I watched the Kingslayer movie. God, that was a long, hard film to watch. It
was, and that is a little bit of a preempt to the beginning of the story.
Yeah, that's why I watched it. But I was so glad it was over, because it didn't have the storytelling that the other Final Fantasy movie had. The first one, where they made a big thing about all hairs are individually mapped, and now the graphics on games look better than that. Was that Final
Fantasy the Children? Not Final Fantasy the Children. I can't remember what it was called now. Something like that.
It was that one where.
The guy on the bike, wasn't it?
No, it was a woman. I can't remember the name of the film. Spirits Within.
Yeah, okay, yes,
that one. Yeah, where they were going for Gaia and the life force of the Earth or whatever it was.
Yeah,
it's been a few years since I've seen that film, but they didn't have that storytelling. To my mind, it was just a lot of quite incomprehensible stuff going on. I'm thinking, I just don't get it. Just don't get it anymore.
Yeah. But it's I really enjoyed it. I mean, as much as I've been trying to get to grips with No Man's Sky, and that looks gorgeous, but so we'll say that a bit later. I do love Final Fantasy, and where I've gone past the point where I was at last time.
Yeah.
And I think actually doing this the second time is sort of giving me a bit more of a basis to play the game, where first time round you're following your way and how to play it and how to use items, whether they're magical or whatever.
Yeah.
And I think the second time round starting it has probably given me a bit more of a boost than what I'm doing now.
Well, you'll no doubt have got through things a lot quicker because even if you've forgotten a lot of the controls, it'll come back and you'll remember, oh yeah, this is where I did so and so.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where I've had a slight advantage on No Man's Sky over you, to be honest. So.
But so other than that, it is No Man's Sky. I think if you want to chat about the other game you've got, and then we'll bring that in at the end if you want.
Okay. So, first one I've done, then, is Far Cry 5's latest bit of DLC, which is Lost on Mars. So
yeah, it's a bit odd, this one, isn't it?
It is. It's really wacky and off the wall. So you play Nick Rye, who was the pilot from Far Cry 5, who you help him and, because his wife's pregnant and whatever. And also Herc, who's another reprising character from Far Cry 5. Herc arrived on Mars to stop an alien invasion. You just don't go into how he got there or anything like that. But he's now a levitating severed head, and there's bits of his body chopped all over the place. And as with probably most blokes, if the body had been chopped all over the place and they were still alive and thinking they were going to get the body put together, he has a over concentration on one particular part of his body to be recovered. Anyway, Herc brings you to Mars somehow to help him and an alien AI stop an invasion of Earth. That's the story. So basically, on Mars there are these bugs, and it's effectively the game is Starship Troopers. To be honest, it's such a good laugh. So if you ever wanted to kill a bug, as the film would say, then this is a game to play it, because the aliens look just like the ones coming off Starship Troopers. To be honest, there's nothing really particularly inventive on this game. It's a very straightforward piece of DLC. It doesn't do anything new or exciting, but what it does have is oodles of charm of the comedy factor of it and the comments that keep coming on. And, as you're helping this alien AI, the fact that, you keep getting different points of view of what the alien AI is wanting you to do and stuff like that. The Herc character, he ends up getting put into this attack robot sort of thing that follows you around and helps you shoot things. There's loads of queens across the planet where you've got to kill them and kill by destroying her eggs to get her out and then take her down. And that gets increasingly difficult. To be honest, just killing the bugs is quite difficult because, especially when you first start off, you have next to nothing to really help you. And when by the time you've finished, you'll have most of the weapons, if not all of them. And they are still, they take a lot of hits before they'll die. And especially the queens, which probably 4 or 5 times the strength of a normal one, at least. So, it's quite difficult. The other thing you've got to do is search for Herc's body parts, and you've also got to initiate all of these towers, which require a crystal. So there's 20 towers in total, and in order to get a crystal, you have to kill a queen. So basically speaking, you have to kill all of the queens on the planet in order to get the crystals, or you can earn like 2,000 credits and buy a crystal in the game. So that's basically what it is. So, it's, I don't really think there's much more to it than that. It's really quite a shallow sort of story, but it is quite amusing. The one thing that I would have said, the environment looks great. I think they've done a really good job of capturing that feeling of this is Mars. But what I don't think is really that good is the animations of the bugs. I just think, when I was watching them, I just thought either they're moving too fast or they needed an extra couple of frames of animation just to make it a little bit smoother in terms of the way that they're actually operating. Do you know what I mean? It's not that they look jerky, it's just that they didn't look as smooth as, a human walking around or whatever. They felt a little bit jittery. So overall, it's a very middle of the road sort of piece of DLC, but one I actually quite enjoyed doing. I did it in the course of a day, probably about 5 or 6 hours gameplay in there. I've also streamed it all as well, so if anybody wants to go and see, they can actually see all of the, probably about 90% of the campaign being played. And yeah, I did die a lot. But to be honest, the weapons were really quite underpowered when you first start, and also you don't have a radar as well, which makes it more difficult, because when you're playing Destiny and that, you're used to having a radar and telling you where the enemies are, and sometimes you could be spinning around and just not see them and then realise that they're up above you. So, but also you get things like gravity belts and stuff like that in it, so you can fly around and hover, but only for short distances. So and also the things that you have to activate is a bit of a twist on the old radio tower sort of situation in Far Cry, but you're not climbing up a ladder, you have to jump to all these different platforms to get up to the top. So it's a good, there's a good sense of humour. It's very adult humour, but there's still a good sense of humour in the game, and like I said, I enjoyed playing it.
Yeah, cool.
So, but it wasn't what I was expecting, although I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I did hear some reports saying they weren't too keen on it, but I mean, it depends how you take it for what it is, I suppose. And we've had other games from these developers that do put a wacky take on it, don't they? Yeah, definitely. When you look at, the Blood, whatever it was, I can't remember what it was even called now. That's what I was thinking, actually, funny enough.
Yeah. Blood Dragon, that was it. That was really quite funny. Very wacky, very 1980s, and it had a sense of humour of its own. And this is along that sort of line of humour, to be honest.
Yeah.
So if you like that, you'll probably like this DLC, Lost on Mars. So the next game I've got is Blackwood Crossing. This is a first-person sort of story adventure driven game. You play a character called Scarlett, who's a teenager trying to find her way around this strange world that she finds herself in. She wakes up to discover that she's travelling with a brother on a train, and then all these mysterious figures start appearing that, and that's when you realise that this isn't a normal train ride. So for example, there's a lion dressed in a suit and a rabbit dressed in a suit and things like that, and a guy with a paper bag on his head, and all of these strange sort of things. And basically it's a bit of a walking simulator, but it's also a bit of a puzzler as well, but with a strong narrative. So there is speech in the game and all of that sort of stuff, so it's not it's not like everyone's gone to the rapture sort of game. And it's more probably, I'm wanting to say cartoony, but not cartoon-like, if you see what I mean. Then, yeah, Everyone's Gone to the Rapture was quite realistic looking. This is a very defined art style. Sort of more akin to a lower grade Pixar sort of look. Yeah,
is this the guy with the spade on the front? Am I thinking of another game?
No, you're thinking of a different game. Blackwood Crossing, I think, does it have a tree at the front and it's all black and white?
Okay, I'll have a little butcher's in a sec.
I'm just trying to remember what is it. I'm sure it's a tree. Yeah, it's a tree, and it's all black and white, the picture, but the game's actually in colour.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, I'm just having a look at the... that reminds me... Yeah, it does look a bit Pixar-ish, doesn't it?
Yeah. And again, I don't know what I was really expecting from the game, but it wasn't what I got, and I was quite happy with what I got. Because this, was it about $11.99, something like that? This game, can't remember.
So you were for it?
Yeah, I thought if you had it open, you'd be able to see. It's not very expensive, it's an indie title, but. No, it's a really good story. The graphics are really nice. The game's not overly challenging in terms of how to complete it or anything like that. So don't think it is. But no, I really enjoyed it. It's a nice graphical art style, and the narrative keeps it more more interesting. And I think as well, the fact that you're on a train for most of the story. Yeah. Keeps it relatively so you're not walking miles like Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, where you could end up walking for about 10 minutes before something had happened. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that's that one. My third game And I don't know why I've gone back to this, because I didn't like it when I first played it.
Yeah, I still say this is not your cup of tea for some reason.
Yeah, but it is now. I started playing Battlefield 1. I picked this up in the sale previously where I got this, Hardline and Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
With all the DLC for all three for $15.99, and it is on the PlayStation Store, the same deal now. So that's a fantastic deal for that amount of content. So I decided, right, I'm going to have a go at Battlefield 1 again, give it another chance. And this, by the way, I've been playing on the Pro, it's not on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Obviously, because it was a PlayStation Store I got it from. But I started kicking it off, and I don't know whether or not I was in just more of a receptive mood, whether or not I was feeling like something that was familiar but different, or what. But, you know, it's sort of like the stars aligned, and I just started playing it, and I thought, my God, this is really a very good way of teaching what war is like, because it does look quite realistic.
Right, yeah.
You know, and it does teach you the horrors of war, and I love the fact that when you die, that it comes up with a name, and the date of birth and date of death.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then you go to another character, and then that one dies, and then it's the same thing. Or at least for the opening bit. And I just think that that's an incredibly good way of getting the message across. And I don't know.
I think the idea of this is to give a bit of realism to what war is that we don't experience or actually not the experience, but what other people have done for us to give us the free world, as we call it, you know? Yeah,
exactly. And I've never been interested in being a soldier, ever. And I wouldn't want to be, either. But even though I've never obviously fought in a war, it feels very realistic, does this game, in terms of when you're actually playing it, and, you know, the way that a lot of it is, you know, in terms of that, you know, storming up the hill, and, you know, through all of the barbed wire and everything that, you know, that you're going across, and the whole narrative sort of experience of it across the 6 chapters.
Is this the one where I think each chapter is a different complete story, and then
Yes.
at one point, you get a tank scenario 2 or 3 stories down the line?
No, the tank scenario is a second story.
Is it? The one I think I got as far as the flying the plane one.
Now, do you know
mountains.
what? I loved the flying the plane. Absolutely loved it. Did you actually play that level?
Yes, I did. I can't remember if I actually completed it, but I remember playing it.
Yeah, I went right through to the end of that.
Yeah.
And that was my favourite story so far. I've done 5 out of the 6, I think, so far. But yeah, the flying the plane, and it looked incredible as well. You know, when you're in there, because I think this is one of these things, in terms of when we play games nowadays, it's all very, you know, fast-moving planes and, you know, long turns and, you know, all of that sort of stuff, and quite, well, it almost takes a dogfighting out and makes it more strategic. But this was sort of like close quarter sort of fighting in a plane at slower speeds, and, you know, doing all sorts of manoeuvres and stuff like that. It made it refreshingly different. I think it'd be great if they could do more First World War flight, you know, not flight sims, but flight battles. Because
we had a few games over the years on the previous consoles where we've had, like, the Crimson Skies, for example, wasn't that?
Yeah, that was one.
Sort of dogfight ideas, and I'm still waiting for that next one on the PlayStation. Still haven't heard much more about it.
Which one was that?
That is the one with all the jet fighters.
Oh,
it's number 7 of that series now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be on PSVR as well. They're going to have part of it for as well.
Ace Combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but...
No, the flight in this was absolutely fantastic, I thought. Really enjoyable. The environment, such wonderfully rendered as well.
Yeah. I know you're playing this on the Pro, right?
Yeah.
Have you tried it on the Xbox?
No. Not for a while. Not since I got an Xbox One X.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't know. I know you said you've got the value for it on the PlayStation, but haven't you got EA Access?
Yes, I do. So technically, I've also got this on Xbox.
Yeah, you got probably 3 of them, I think now.
Well, I mean, no, I don't have it on PC. But to be honest, the reason why I got it on the PlayStation was more because I am actually seriously considering jacking in EA Access. Because the games that come into the vault, if I want to play them, I've kind of already got them. So
yeah, I mean, you're not too well. You don't really play the sports titles.
No.
So there's a large chunk that you wouldn't get involved in.
Well, that's about 40% of the games that are on there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I know. Maybe that's all. I mean, I think I've just paid for another year anyway. See what happens with the Star Wars titles.
Well, again, I've got the Star Wars titles, so why, because I'm not going to wait for EA Access to have them all there. So,
and then you've got the Titanfall titles there as well. And
you see, Titanfall on the Xbox is the one thing that's probably keeping me having it on at the moment, and I could just buy Titanfall.
Didn't you own Titanfall?
I did, but I traded it in because I'd finished the campaign and I wasn't really interested in playing multiplayer. But I've since bought it on the Pro.
Okay.
So, and been going through the campaign on there.
Yeah.
So I must admit I've been racking up a few platinum trophies recently.
I'm sure.
I think I've got about 15 now.
Yeah. Okay,
but Moving on. So, in that case then, shall we talk about No More Searching for Resources? Sorry, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, getting shot by bots at being a pain in the arse.
Well, that is because that's what you're doing. You've got to know your environment. So, do you want to go or shall I?
Because you can go. I haven't really played a little bit, but as I say, you played a lot of this originally on the PlayStation. All
right. Well, first off, should we say that this version of No Man's Sky, we'll go through what some of the changes are first off. So this is No Man's Sky, the next update, and also the version where the Xbox has come in.
Which is a big deal in its own right.
It is a big deal because it's yet another exclusive for Xbox that is, was PlayStation, that is now on Xbox. Yeah. And this is really getting to be quite, I think maybe a serious problem for PlayStation, because it seems that there's a lot of titles that have gone this way now. And, everybody's saying about, well, there's nothing to play on the Xbox. Well, actually, just look in the library, we'll actually find a lot of things on there. But in terms of, it's if I was a PlayStation, well, I am a PlayStation owner. What would I say if I was a PlayStation owner? I think I would be starting to get a bit, what is actually going on here? If I only had a PlayStation, of why are all these exclusives suddenly going over, to Xbox? But anyway, that's a sideline. So, in terms of what's new, we've got, hold on to your hats for this one, multiplayer. Finally, No Man's Sky has proper multiplayer. You can see other players, etc., etc. We have third-person perspective, which the game was originally first-person. Now you can switch between them, and I'll tell you what, I have not gone back to first-person since. Actually, I think it adds to the game being third-person for some reason. We have multiplayer missions. There are new threats. We have a major visual overhaul on the game. Bases can be built on any planet. There is an increased base building and size limits. There are new base parts. You can own multiple bases. You can have command freighters. There is an allegedly improved galaxy map, but it's still nothing anywhere near the quality of that one in Elite Dangerous. And also it's on Xbox One. So that's a big change. And this is this is a free update for everybody. So if you've got it on PC or PS4, you'll get this as well. And Hello Games and Sean Murray had a lot of flack. And let's face it, Sony threw them under the bus. They not only threw them under the bus, but they drove the bus over and then looked in the back rearview mirror and thought, oh, it's still there, I'll reverse over it. And then drove forward again and did it several times and then drove off. So, because the game was not what a lot of people thought at first. The development saga of this game, forgetting the bad press and all of that, let's just, in terms of what the game was to what it is now, kind of feels like the No Man's Skies equivalent of the Destiny development, where you have a basic, quite vanilla game that is maybe a little bit buggy at first, and then it develops over a period of a few years to get to where it is now. And it's been vastly improved from where it was. However, and I think that this is where you are, Steve, is that while the game has vastly improved, it still has not addressed the fundamental problem, which is all of the resource gathering when you first start.
Well, is it, to me, is it just a tutorial doesn't really exist?
No, there is a tutorial there, and if you look in the pause menu where you go to your logs, you can actually see the instructions on how to do things.
Right.
But it takes a lot, you have to know to look to get it. And also, the other thing as well is, I don't know whether or not you noticed, but there's a message always in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, and that's suggesting you what you need to do next. So, for example, if you're running out of, I don't know, health, it'll say, collect more oxygen. Yeah. Yeah, so that then you can, replenish your tanks and not die, as it were. So, because that's generally a kind of a bit of a problem. But, there's a lot in this game, whether or not you're on the PC, PS4 or Xbox One. And I think it's a vastly improved game, but I think it's a really hard game to start off with. And if you end up on a planet that is a harsh environment to begin with, I have one bit of advice to you, which is very, very simple.
Restart the game.
Restart the game, delete the save, and start again. Because if you start off on a high security, toxic or highly radioactive or super hot or super cold planet...
Yeah, I'm on super cold at the minute.
Yeah, you're gonna really, really struggle. And
I did delete the save, because the first time I did it, I was trying to get the hang of it, and I was on a hot planet, and it kept getting too hot.
Yeah.
So then I deleted it and started again. Then I ended up on a cold planet where it gets really cold, and the ice breaks your visor.
Yeah.
But I've just persevered at the moment with that, and every time it gets a bit cold, I run back to my ship and sit inside it.
Yeah, well, you don't need to do that, because what you can do is replenish your supplies.
I mean, I have been doing that, so I've been, oxygen and everything else, and obviously you've got your jetpack suit and everything, and the bits you want to add to whatever there, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But it's actually, for me at the minute, I understand we got the crafting to do.
Yes.
So I crafted some shields, for example, some metal plates.
Yeah, shielding, yeah.
Yeah, but I need to do some other parts, which I haven't done yet.
Right.
And I thought, well, where the heck do I get these? Because it doesn't really tell me what parts... Well, it does tell you the parts you need, but I can't find the parts, if you're with me, yet.
Right.
They're not just locally around the corner. You've got to go for a bit of a trek, by the sounds of it, to find them.
Sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to travel a very long way in order to find anything. And you'll come across different bases. You'll come across pods. You'll come across...
I've seen a couple of chests and bits and pieces like that.
Yeah.
Which haven't given me a great deal. And then obviously you've got your weapon, your scanner, which obviously then breaks, and you've got to fix it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't break. Your laser runs out of energy. But have you got the visor? Have you managed to build the visor?
I've managed to build the upgrade so I could scan stuff.
Yes. Now, if you start scanning stuff, one of the things, and linked to an achievement as well, is scanning all life on a planet.
Right.
So every time you see a creature,
scan it.
Yeah. Especially if it's something that you don't know, you can always tell the ones that you know because they're green. If you don't know them, they're red. And it'll tell you about that. But then also what you can do is upload that find so that you're then registered as the finder of that as well. But you have to go into the menus for that.
Yeah, I did name my planet.
Yeah, well, in those menus, that's where you can upload information, but also that's where you can see how to do certain things as well. That, so you can get a bit of a recap. I have to admit, I started this, and I started playing it, and I got onto a planet where it was like minus 120. My health, my shields were going down, and my environmental protection was going down, going down so fast. And I was just sort of like, oh, God.
This is pointless, so is it? Because it just put you off.
And I ended up dying in about 5 minutes because my brain hadn't readjusted to what was going on. And then I restarted the game. I thought that was the daft trial. Now to actually play the game properly. So I started the game, and that was it. I haven't looked back since then. It's been really good. I've now got to the point of I've built a base. I've visited several planets in the system, and I've also built a hyperdrive and filled it as well with fuel, so that I'm ready, to do the next phase, which is, start heading out there. What I want to do is build a portal so I can get back to my my base, which is a new thing, because you can actually build a portal to go back to your base, so you don't have to fly there, remember where it is.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of things that you can do. So because it's a multiplayer game, I renamed my base Don't Fiddle With My Stuff.
Well, my planet became Talos 6.
All right, okay.
So
not Talos 5 then?
No, I thought, because people won't want to go near it. But I thought I'd give it Talos 6, and I haven't named any of the plants or animals yet. I'm not going to be that anal at the moment. To be
honest, it's pretty pointless you doing that, because lots of people have actually done it, but I read somewhere a couple of years ago that all these people had done it and had gone back to the planet where they'd renamed stuff, and it had lost all of the renaming because evidently it only stores on the server for 8 days or something like that.
That's just silly, isn't it?
Well, considering that there are however many quintillion planets,
you shouldn't.
That's going to be a big database.
Yeah, and also what they should be able to do is, if they keep that database running, then if you excuse Yoda in the background, if you do type in something, then it would say, oh, this has already been named somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? It would make it a bit more like a bit of realism, where if you're one of these guys with a big telescope. And you witness something that's not been seen before, you're allowed to name it, and it's pretty cool to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it looks gorgeous.
They've definitely applied a lot of really nice filters onto the look. It has a very stylised look. It's that sort of Edgar Rice Burroughs 1960s book cover sort of look. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, sort of the Last Man on the Moon sort of style.
Yeah, or I've forgotten what the character was where the film bombed. That's going to annoy me now because I can't remember what it was called.
Where was that then?
They did a movie where it was someone on Mars, and it was based on Edgar Rice Burroughs' character. Forgotten what it was called. Anyway, not important. But it's that sort of look, I think.
Yeah.
Once you get past all of the resource collection, because there is too much of it, it's not a bad game what they've done. You can now have land-based vehicles and whatever. I'll tell you one thing that will get on your nerves when you first start as well, when you fix your ship, is every time you land and take off, that takes fuel. So you then have to replenish your fuel. Fortunately, it's relatively easy to do.
Yeah.
But it's still a pain in the backside. to have to do it. And the way around it is, if you only land at settlements that have a landing pad, or at least a landing beacon, you can land for free, and you can land for free at space stations. But everywhere else requires that you, use fuel to land. Which is, to me, it's a bit stupid. Likewise, the bolt cutter weapon that I've got now, it keeps running out of ammunition. And it's sort of like, well, it's a laser gun, why does it need ammunition? Surely it just needs a charge. But no, evidently it requires ammunition, and that's a bit of a pain, because I thought, I'm not going to go and bother crafting them. I'm just going to avoid those sentinels, because if there's a sentinel in sight, depending upon the level of security on the planet, it will either scan you and then walk off uninterested, or it will scan you and then attack you if you start collecting resources while you're near. So just be careful when you're around them.
Yeah. Oh well, I'll say I might get on there tonight in a couple of hours. Have a good go before I get back to work.
Well, I mean, we can have a game together, can't we? And I can go through some of it. Or why not just look at my... because I also streamed this as well.
Yeah, well, instead of watching the stream, I'd rather just try and get on it, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and build up my... start the game off properly, get in there. But yeah, no, I'm glad I purchased it.
By the way, that film was John Carter.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Was that with the one with Sly Stallone in it?
No. No, that wasn't him at all. You don't know which movie I mean, do you?
No, I'm thinking of one with Sly Stallone or Michael Caine, but that's Get Carter, sorry, isn't it?
Yes, that's Get Carter. That's not the same thing at all.
No, it's all right, don't worry.
I'm sure that you'll recognise it if you saw the cover.
Yeah.
But, to me, it's that sort of like stylised look that was on the front cover of those books from the, 50s, 60s, 70s sort of era. So,
okay.
Anything else you want to say about No Man's Sky?
No, not at the moment. I think I'll just save it for hopefully when I get to be a bit balls deep in it, if I can do, at some point. Okay.
Well, in that case, then we'll move on to movies, TV, and streaming.
In quest of a better life.
All right, Steve, you've got the rather cryptic note of, I have news.
I have two news, yes, I do. And I completely forgot about them.
Go on, then.
So, the first one, now, Simon Pegg has been saying that they hope they're going to start filming early 2019 for the next Star Trek movie.
Yes.
So, what happens, Pegg was a guest on the Larry King show, or the Larry King Now show, promoting the latest Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
And Larry King asked him about Star Trek, and he said, "Will you still be in the movie?" He said, "Well, yeah, as long as they want me, and I'll we'd love to call with the Kelvin cast. It's now been sort of rebooted as the William Shatner era, and I'm glad to be playing Scotty." And he said, "Well, Pegg is pretty sure he's in the movie. He's a bit sure and less about when the movie will start filming, though he's hopeful it will appear sooner than rather than later." So his thoughts are saying that they've met the guy that's going to direct the woman that's directing the movie, and it looks like it's all systems go by the sounds of it for something I've been waiting for, because your news is it's news and it's boring because we're saturated with it, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Well, that depends on your point of view.
Well, I know it's your first love, so that's fine.
Well, actually, no, I have two equal loves, and that's
but I don't think you can. But then again, you can cheat on one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But other than that, now the other news, which is going to this is probably one of the biggest bit of movie news you're going to get this year.
Blade Runner 3.
No.
Thank God for that.
It's all to do with $71.3 billion. And Disney have now acquired 21st Century Fox.
Really?
Which is, at the moment, the Marvel Universe, for example, and a lot of other bits and pieces. Can be interesting to see how this all plays out. So the official announcement, Walt Disney and 20th Century Fox.
Hang on a minute, though. Disney already owned Marvel.
I know, but with what Fox own, mixes in with that mix, apparently.
Right, okay.
But anyway, so the official announcement went that Walt Disney and 21st Century Fox shareholders have agreed to a $71.3 billion deal. As Disney will acquire 20th Century Fox and TV Studios, Fox Entertainment Cable Network, and its international assets. So Disney originally offered $52.4 billion in stock for Fox assets, but Comcast topped that with $65 billion in a cash before Disney again raised its bid to $71.3. This all sounds very much like Monopoly money to me.
Mm.
So yeah, just wait and see really on where all this goes, because 20th Century Fox, remember, has Deadpool and X-Men.
Yes.
And there's rumours that the latest X-Men movie might just be shelved and canned for good.
I hope not, because I like the new generation of X-Men movies, to be honest.
Mm.
You know, the first class sort of group.
And remember Logan as well. So could Logan join the Marvel Universe?
Well, not with Hugh Jackman.
No, but with somebody.
Mm.
So there's, it's all sort of up in the air, but it's officially out there now. Disney are going to take over the world, by the looks of it.
Well, one of these days we'll all be ruled by big corporations. I was watching a TV programme on BBC Two before we started, and it was on about, Silicon Valley. Mm. And particularly about Facebook and the type of profiling that they do and the Cambridge Analytica sort of stuff, and how all of that had an impact on the American election and all of that sort of stuff. And it's, to be honest, it's really quite scary, some of the stuff that they can do now. By using algorithms to do, predict and focus adverts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a difference between focusing an advert on someone to say, here's a TV programme you might want to watch, to here's somebody who you will want to run the country. Mm. And I think that there should be a very definite line drawn somewhere. So it was a very interesting programme. So if anybody fancies a watch, then just have a look on BBC iPlayer. And it was The Truth About Silicon Valley or something like that. It was on BBC Two today from about 5:30 till 6:30. Mm. So, yeah, very interesting.
So yeah, the big corporates doing all their bits again. But yeah, it would be interesting to see what happens with Disney.
But you do know what that means, though, don't you? It's a very exciting news that we can have at the beginning of a Star Wars movie.
I hope they don't.
I hope they do.
They've got to keep that where it is, because that is 20th Century Fox's anthem, isn't it?
It is. But wouldn't it be great to have that back? Because the Star Wars theme just doesn't sound the same.
No, you're true. Yes, right. Because they couldn't have that, could they?
No.
Because
but they can put it back. It can be back where it belongs. Maybe that's why they bought it.
Just to have that. Yeah. That's a lot of money just for 2 seconds of.
Yeah, I'm sure that they could
have movie.
Probably have paid them a little bit less to get that.
Yeah. But, so do you want to bring in that Star Wars news? I won't really yawn. I'm not really mocking it because it's quite interesting, but it's just that. Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah, because you've lost your love for Star Wars.
I have. Yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest, let's face it, after The Last Jedi, who can blame you? But the big news on a Star Wars front is it's been announced that Carrie Fisher will appear in Star Wars Episode 9, despite dying in 2016.
And it won't be CGI, will it?
No. Carrie Fisher will appear thanks to unseen footage, but not through the power of CGI. There was actually a very big outcry from fans saying that they didn't want Leia to be CGI'd into the movie. Because some people thought it was bad taste. I think that would be actually an excellent big debate subject to talk about. Should dead actors be brought back via CGI?
Yeah, it's an interesting one that we've seen in a couple of places now.
Yeah, particularly in Star Wars. but also actors being made looking younger, like, what do you call him? Iron Man as well. Because Robert Downey Jr. was made to look younger at the beginning of one of the movies, wasn't he?
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. Was that Age of Ultron? No, it wasn't. It was Civil War. So, it was Civil War at the beginning. So, yeah, I think that I'll put that on the list anyway as one of the ones for our big debate topic. I might stick it in the list for next time. But yeah, so she's not going to appear as CGI. But not only that, but we can also expect some other familiar faces from the original trilogy. As you know, there was a large outcry from a lot of fans over the absence of a certain character, not Luke Skywalker, from The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, that being Lando or Billy D. Williams. And I think with the love of Lando being returned to the Star Wars universe thanks to the solo anthology movie, Billy D. Williams will be rejoining the cast on Episode 9. Please, God, let us not have, "Oh, Finn, I am your father." I just have that fear it's going to be that. That'd just make it a bit too...
Isn't J.J. Abrams going to be more in... I think from what I remember reading...
directing it.
Yeah, and I think that's going to give a huge boost to Star Wars fans that have been disappointed over the last one anyway. Well,
I mean, a lot of people didn't like The Force Awakens, but
it's okay.
I think, to be honest, it was a good movie. It's what Star Wars needed to get it going again. What it didn't need was the sequel. It didn't need to go the opposite direction because the director wanted to just go in the opposite direction. And I think that the big problem with Star Wars in its entirety now, since George Lucas has left, is that there is nobody caretaking the overarching arc. I think that Kathleen Kennedy's only thing that she's caretaking is the bottom dollar. She's not looking at the bigger picture.
Well, she's more... I think even as much as what her role is these days, I think she's looking after the purse strings and how that's going.
Yeah, but she should be looking after the purse... If she looked after the overarching story, the fans wouldn't be annoyed, the fans wouldn't be threatening to leave the franchise, and the fans would be ploughing money into it. It's a really big tactical error that they've made with The Last Jedi. It was an appallingly bad film. Granted, it was visually looked fantastic, but from a story sense, there wasn't a story there. It was a 2-hour transport to another planet that just happened to be a rebel base. That was it. There was nothing that happened in that film that forwarded anything at all in terms of the story. You know, Rey ended up being an all-powerful Jedi Master just by happening to go to a planet. You know, it's ridiculous. It really is, where they've taken that. So I hope that JJ brings something back to this picture, to be honest. But there's another character that's going to be reappraising his role as well, and that is Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I mean, he may necessarily not have died, theoretically.
That'll be a Force ghost.
Yeah, but I mean, when we saw that with Alec Guinness originally, didn't we? When he came back to do that.
We also saw it with
Jedi.
Yeah, but we saw it with Yoda. We saw it with Anakin.
Yeah.
So, and also, technically speaking, we didn't see it, but we heard it with Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah, that was a shame, actually, because I did like him.
Yeah, I did as well. But that's the Star Wars news. So, I mean, in terms of him being a director and a film producer, I think that, JJ's one of the leading ones now. He's the George Lucas of this era in a lot of ways. But one thing I don't like about him is that, and I know that he has to protect now the Star Wars franchise, but following Disney's lead at attacking fans who have been fans of it for years by saying you can't take change and you can't, that you're being sexist and all of this, that and the other rubbish is really bad form, because at the end of the day, we're the people who put the money in. You know, you don't pee where you eat at the end of the day, and that's exactly what Disney have done. So I think that they've got a lot of ground to make up, and it didn't quite work with Solo, but to be honest, they gave the fans the film that they wanted to see, in terms of Han and Han meeting Chewie, how Han got the Falcon, everything. It was all in there. And I enjoyed it as a film. It wasn't as epic as the other ones. It wasn't as epic as Rogue One. But it was a different type of movie. It was a heist movie. So it's interesting, actually, because when all these anthology movies were originally rumoured, it was supposed to be, the heist movie was supposed to be Boba Fett. But I think that the next anthology movie they're going to release is going to be Obi-Wan. And I think that somebody else will be returning. Yeah,
I know. But let's just not have it let's have a break. I want that anticipation back that there's going to be a Star Wars movie and I'm really going to look forward to it. Not like they're off a conveyor belt, you know, at your local Sainsbury's, popping out every 6 months. It just doesn't do it for me.
Well, it's really an annual event now, isn't it?
Well, I don't. It's more of a monthly event, isn't it? It feels like sometimes.
It's an annual event because what they're doing is they're doing the main story every other year.
Oh, yeah, I know. But what I'm saying is
every other year.
I just want more Star Trek. I'm sorry. That's what I really want now. Just give me more Star Trek.
I have to admit, I want more Star Trek now as well. But to be honest, I want more Star Trek TV. I don't want more Star Trek movies as much.
Well, I want it both. I want it all. I want my cake and eat it.
Yeah.
And I'm used to having that from watching the movies as they came out from the motion picture Wrath Khan onwards. And when you, at the same time, then you had The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. We were saturated, but I actually loved it. I just wanted that back a bit more. And we'll see. There's rumours of a second TV show in the mix.
Yes.
Which may have Jean-Luc Picard in it, but from what I'm hearing.
Yes, that's what I've heard as well.
So that could be cool. But yeah, it's just, it's wait and see. But Comic-Con had plenty of Star Trek involved at that.
Yes.
And the trailer for the new series.
Yes.
Looks pretty cool. They told us they told us who was playing number one, and they gave us Captain Pike as well. Who was playing that as well. And that looks, can't wait for that. Should be really good.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely, definitely. The trailer of it, I can't understand why we're having to wait for so long for the film to come, the show to come to air, to be honest, because it looks like it's more or less produced.
Yeah. I think there's a slot where they want to stick it, I think, regarding Netflix.
Yeah. I think, well, is it Netflix or is it their parent TV channel?
Possibly.
I think it's more to do with that, to be honest.
Yeah. But it's funny that Comic-Con this year had a lot missing this year because they didn't have much to do with Marvel.
No.
Being there. So Hall H, which is normally you have to park outside for a week before you can get in there, which is the hall where all the big sort of the talks on all the different movies is normally at. Yeah, apparently you could easily just walk in there at some stage during them. But there was still plenty good to come out of that. We had all the TV shows that we love. There were some great panels for that with the Legends TV show and Arrow, The Flash. They all had their own shows. I watched the panel for The Good Place.
Yes.
Which is very interesting, very amusing. And if you love the show, check that one out as well. Because they were giving us a little bit of a tweak into what was going to happen with that. I
can't wait for that. We've only got a few more weeks to go as well, haven't we?
I know, it isn't long. And then, I think, is it the 27th of September? Am I right?
Something like that. It's the end of the next September, yeah.
So that was pretty good. They had a lot to do. They showed a lot of that. They had a chat. I enjoyed the chat with the Legends guys because obviously Constantine's joined the crew now on the Wave Rider. And as much as he's got this Newcastle accent in the show, he's actually Welsh. Because when they chatted to him and he said, what's your thoughts on what's happening on it? And he said, this first episode's going to be really horny, he said.
Really?
And if you've seen the trailer, you know what I'm talking about.
Mm.
And he's got a Welsh accent. I couldn't believe that. But he's brilliant. Just really can't wait forward to that.
Fantastic.
There was a great panel for Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis and them. That was quite interesting. What other panels did they have? I'm trying to think now. I think there was one for Wonder Woman, which is entitled now Wonder Woman 1984, if I remember rightly. Is that correct?
Well, it's 1980s Wonder Woman, isn't it? But
I think did it give it a title as 1984? I have to look it up.
But Chris Pine's back.
Yes, but I don't think it could be Chris Pine as the character we know.
It's supposed to be. It is supposed to be him.
Not too sure. I heard rumours that there's another character that takes different forms that he could be involved in. But then again, there's a long way to go for that.
Mm.
But yeah, no, really did enjoy some of that.
And also thinking of Comic-Con, there is also, coming to Scotland, Comic-Con Scotland 2018.
Yes, I did see that one.
On the 10th and 11th of November.
Yeah, because they got a couple of the guys from the old Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, mate, the guest list of this looks amazing. David Hasselhoff and Kit. Dirk Benedict from, Starbuck or, Face. Yeah. There is also Jack Stouffer and Herbert Jefferson Jr. Yeah. Who were two of the pilots on Battlestar. This one I really want to meet. Jill Gerard.
Mm-hmm. From
Buck Rogers. No, yeah. It is Buck Rogers, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It
is. Sylvester McCoy and Sophie Aldred, who was Doctor Who and Ace.
Yeah. Did you realise, though, there was the London one this weekend?
I did, yeah.
And did you see the cast list?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you'd be weeping. My missus actually would have gone, do you know that? Because there was a couple there from shows like Vampire Diaries and stuff like that, which she really likes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I said, well, maybe next year we'll look into that. Because obviously it was a birthday weekend, but I think I could have got away with going there for a day, to be honest.
Do you know two of the other guests at Scotland one? Zach Galligan from Gremlins.
Isn't Phoebe Cates as well there? Or was that something else I'm thinking of?
I can't remember, but Sam Jones, Flash.
Yeah.
He's going. So, and also the original Hulk, Louis Ferrigno.
Yeah, Louis Ferrigno, yeah.
So there's a lot of really good people. I'm trying at the moment to get us press passes for it.
It'd be interesting. I've never been to Scotland yet. That's one place I've never been.
Well, I know it's a long way for you, but I thought if you got the train up, we could get on the train together and then, go up and have a good...
Well, I see. I've got a busy couple of months. October, November and December.
Yeah.
Because obviously I'll be meeting John Carpenter in October.
Well, just clear your diary for the 10th and 11th of November, just in case.
In November, I've got the Human League in mid-year. I'm not sure when that is now, I remember off the top of my head. And obviously then I've got War of the Worlds in December. But yeah.
Well, stick it in your diary, 10th and 11th.
I'll have to have a look, see what there is.
But they have actually come back to me about it, so I'll fill you in later on about that.
Okay. So, should we do cinema releases?
Yep. Okay, so cinema for the 3rd of August, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm really looking forward to this film. Definitely.
Yeah, I do like the woman in that. Who actually played in Lost, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
She was great in that as well. So yeah, I think I'm on board with that one, to be honest.
Yeah,
very much so.
Well, I'm planning on seeing it. Turned around, my son said, "Do you want to go and see it?" No, for God's sake. He just doesn't like superhero movies. What can I say? But he'll want to go and see Teen Titans Go, the movie, which is also out. There is The Escape as well. Can't remember what that one. Can't remember what that one is. Can you remember what The Escape is?
Not off the top of my head. No, I'm not sure about that movie.
It's about a woman who makes an extraordinary decision which will change her life forever. Sounds really riveting, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it's one for the women now. I think.
Yeah, I think it's a chick flick. To be honest,
it's a drama.
Yeah, chick flick.
And then, IMDb says it's a drama, so there you go.
Yeah. So the other one is Hearts Beat Loud, which is a father and daughter form an unlikely songwriting duo in the summer before she leaves for college. So that doesn't sound great, but never mind. So DVDs and Blu-rays, do you want to...
Yeah, so there's a few there, but we'll do some highlighted ones. We've got The Equalizer, 2015. Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Uncut 18 certificate version.
4K Blu-ray.
Yeah. Pacific Rim Uprising.
That's the new one with John Boyega, isn't it?
That's it, yeah. If you like your Transformer-style movies, that'll be up your alleyway. You've got a double here of G.I. Joe Rise of the Cobra and G.I. Joe Retaliation, 4K Blu-ray.
I didn't actually mind those films, to be quite honest with you. I quite enjoyed them. They were a park your brain at the door and just go along for the ride sort of movies. And one of them's got Bruce Willis in.
Yeah, yeah. Another one there, Dead Ringers. Now, if my memory serves me, that film is Jeremy Irons, and it's it's a
twins.
Oh, yeah, and that was done by, I can't remember his name now, the director actually.
Yeah,
but that's a good horror movie.
Yeah, it's not a horror though, is it? It's a thriller.
Yeah, thriller / horror.
Yeah,
but that's interesting. Other than that, there's not a lot there.
No, but Dead Ringers. That was a. I did enjoy that.
Wasn't it David Cronenberg? I'm trying to think now. I think it might have been.
I can't remember, to be honest. Can't remember. But yeah, that was a good film, and of course that was one of the ones that teaches you that whenever there are twins, one of them is always evil.
We know that from Star Trek, don't we?
No, that's a transporter accident that makes a duplicate.
Yeah, but it's a similar sort of thing. You know what I mean. Anyway, do you want to do cinema charts?
Yep, so cinema charts. At number 5, we have The First Purge. So it looks like it's just about to get purged from the charts.
Yeah, actually, it's most popular, apparently. It's really raking in the cash, so...
4.5 million in total in UK box office to date.
I'm sure the States where it's probably hitting it most, being a bigger country.
Yeah. Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is at number 4. We have Skyscraper. Now, I really want to see this film.
It's not done very well, apparently.
I don't care. I like The Rock. I know that, he's, you can't exactly call him a Shakespearean actor or anything, but he has such a presence and such charm, doesn't he?
I do like. I think he's quite a good guy. I do like him.
Did you see the Jumanji movie that he was in?
Not yet, because that will be on Sky shortly.
Oh, right.
So
I've got it in 4K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I think I didn't enjoy it more than the original, but I enjoyed what I watched. It was very gaming era sort of version of Jumanji.
Well, you've got,
and they're doing a sequel as well.
You got some other stars in that film that are quite worth watching anyway. So
yeah, we've got Jack Black, haven't you?
And a certain young lady as well.
Yes,
from a former Doctor Who.
Karen Gillan.
Yes.
At number 2, we have Incredibles 2. So taking 22 million at the box office today and 6.8 million on its opening weekend.
It's not bad for the UK.
Yeah, and all I can say about this last one is, Mamma Mia, here we go again. Because it's that film, and it's taken 9.735 million on its opening weekend.
They had to move to Crete for this one, didn't they? It's not. They changed the place of filming this time, but I don't think it makes much odds to it, to be honest.
Yeah, my wife and my son are dying to see this film.
I'm glad that my missus hates musicals from that point of view.
I don't mind musicals. I'm just so sick of Mamma Mia.
I've not got near it. I've missed it. I'm lucky. Yeah,
you are, because I can tell you one thing. Pierce Brosnan might have been one of the best looking guys who's ever walked the face of the earth, but I can tell you something, he can't hold a note.
I know, that's even more
Even if you gave him a piece of paper, he still wouldn't be able to hold that note. So, anyway, do you want to do the DVD charts?
Yes, so we have Blade Runner 2049 up from 7 to 5.
Have you got an update on Blade Runner, by the way? Your code?
Someone actually picked it up, didn't they?
Did they?
They did, yeah. And he texted me as well straight off the back, so he must be he must have been the first to download the show.
Yeah, I did actually have somebody just shortly after. Well, I don't know whether it was after or not, but said, contacting me about it because I couldn't remember or they were asking what film was it, and I said what it was, and then I went to try and do the code, and I think in that interim couple of minutes that from me not knowing that someone had picked it up, and he came back and said, "Oh, it's just been claimed." and he was so excited. So I'm really sorry that you missed out on that one, but there you go. Yeah. It just goes to prove people pick anything up if it's free.
No, I know the guy personally. He's all right. He's cool for that. So
yeah, cool.
So from 1 down to 4, we got Red Sparrow.
I'm thinking about buying this.
Well, I might wait till I see it on Sky.
I'm going to wait until it comes on Netflix.
Yeah. From 2 down to 3, we've got Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about musicals, from 3 up to 2, we've got The Greatest Showman.
And I'm going to talk about that tonight.
And number 1, straight in there, Tomb Raider. Enough about that, I think.
Yep.
So, some people like it, some people don't.
Yes.
But I'm sure I'll get to see it at some point.
I'm sure you will.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
You're going to tell us what you've been watching.
Yeah, so My Heroes turned up the other day.
Cool.
And it's 18 discs in there.
Yeah.
I've forgotten how big that series was, even for 4 seasons.
Yeah, it's 4 seasons, but it's 4 seasons of about 20 episodes, isn't it?
Yeah. Really, I've just started from scratch. And yeah, it's really great to go back to that. I just do love that show. So I've been watching a couple of horror movies. I thought I'd go back and start watching all the Friday the 13th movies.
Why?
Because I adore horror films. And the Jason Voorhees and the Friday the 13th franchise I've always loved since seeing the original back in the early 80s when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a load of them down on my Skybox. So I watched part 2 and part 3 this week. Part 3 was actually filmed in 3D. And when I saw that in 3D, we had the red and blue glasses on our heads. Do you remember those?
Oh, God, yeah, I remember those.
So that's how long ago it was. But it's quite funny watching it in 2D and seeing those 3D moments. I'm going, there's a 3D moment. Cover yourself up. And you got this eyeball that comes out to the screen, or you've got Jason with the gun with the spear on it when he's firing at the audience, stuff like that.
Mm.
But they may be a little bit cheesy now, but I do like those movies. An older movie actually. I don't know why. I think I just saw it on an anniversary. So I decided to go onto Netflix, and I went and decided over just as a whim to watch Animal House. Have you ever seen it?
Years and years ago. I can't really remember wasn't it about college? So
this came out back in 1978, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's ancient.
And it's about a college in 1962.
Yeah.
And the frat fraternity.
Yeah.
And there's one house which is called Delta, which are diabolical. Some great actors and actresses in that. We have John Belushi, who played Bluto. We've got Karen Allen in there. Donald Sutherland. Even Kevin Bacon, but a very young Kevin Bacon's in it as well. This was directed by John Landis, if you remember, who did such films as with Eddie Murphy and stuff like that. Suddenly it's just gone right out of my head. We had Trading Places, for example.
Yeah.
That he did. So I like that film. It's a good comedy. It's from an era that I used to love watching comedies then, and I still hold it close to my heart anyway, that film. The last film I watched at the weekend was Geostorm. So I don't know if have you seen this one?
No.
So Gerard Butler helped put together this satellite that sits over the Earth correcting all the weather issues.
Right. And it goes wrong.
It goes wrong. It's a typical, how do I put it, Armageddon style movie.
Yeah.
and he has to go back into space to see what's wrong because someone sabotaged it. We've had some massive Earth sort of tornadoes come and conspiracy with the president, and it's going to hit geostorm, which is basically going to obliterate the planet with all sorts of weather. A good, fun movie from the makers of Independence Day.
Okay. So
you can get the style of the special effects you get in this movie, if you remember some of those films. Even that other one that we had with the waves and then tsunami.
2012.
Yeah, same sort of stuff.
Or the day after tomorrow.
Day after tomorrow, that was it. And there's one point you get this tsunami going through a hot country, and as it's coming over, it's freezing everyone as they're running back away from the sea. So it's all that sort of style. But it's really cool. And you park your brain up, sit and watch the movie, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, watched that on Sky. Other than that, that's about it, really. Yeah, just a few movies. Do you want to talk about The Greatest Showman? I didn't think it would be your cup of tea, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't know why I actually picked this up, to be honest, because, I do like watching a musical every now and again. I know that they're a bit more of a chicky flick sort of thing. But if you get good music, then, you get, generally speaking, a good movie. And I did like Les Miserables, which actually I also got and watched this week. I used to have it on DVD, but Amazon had it for £1.97 on Blu-ray. So I thought, right, I'll upgrade the quality. And to be honest, because of everything with it, it's one of those films that doesn't really need 4K because it looks absolutely stunning in HD on my TV, upscaled. So I wouldn't have been gaining anything extra. But I actually got the 4K Blu-ray of The Greatest Showman. And, well, what can I say? I mean, the music's fantastic, but in terms of HD, I don't know if it's a true HD movie or not, but my God, it looks amazing. Absolutely amazing, because the costumes in it are, very intricate, especially when you're looking at Hugh Jackman's one where because, it's basically about him inventing a circus, really, isn't it? With sort of like freakish acts with the bearded lady and the world's tallest man and, all of this, that and the other, and the high wire expertise and all of that sort of stuff. And he wears this like red costume with this gold braiding and all of that, and it looks absolutely fantastic. In terms of the music, it's very sort of Chicago-ish in terms of the general sound, or a bit like also the Buffy, the Buffy musical that there was as well, if you remember that one. That sort of singing in parts. But, no, it's a good story, and it's, got a lot of famous people in it. And I was pleasantly surprised, because I was expecting it to be not that interesting. And I actually was, and ended up just sitting and watching it all in one go, which I thought I'd be like watching it piecemeal sort of thing. Or just having it in the background just as a bit of music. Yeah. But I hadn't actually bought it for me. I'd bought it for, more for her indoors. Because I thought that she would, my wife would like it more than I would, because she'd been on about she wanted to see it. So I thought, right, well, okay. It was 20 quid for the 4K. So I thought, well, if I do like it, then at least I've got the 4K version. And if I don't like it, well, at least I've got the Blu-ray version in the box as well. So I got the 4K version. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Did you sing along?
No, I didn't sing along. I'm not even sure whether or not there's actually a karaoke version of it on the disc or not. Haven't looked. But I'll tell you one thing. I was flicking through the channels, and ITV were broadcasting a karaoke version of Mamma Mia. God, that was painful. As soon as that music started coming on, my wife and son Terry says, "Oh no, leave that on." So I just came up to the study. Shut the door, put my headphones on so I couldn't hear.
Oh dear.
So anyway, so that's all I really want to say about that. So if you haven't seen it, it is worth a watch. Actually, it's an enjoyable story. It's very interesting. The music's great, costume design, the effects, the lighting, everything. It's really first class, as you would expect. And very good intro. Great, if you like dancing, there's good dancing in there as well. Good stunts, all sorts. So worth a watch. Have you seen it?
No, I don't intend to either. Probably.
I think you might want to reconsider that, to be honest.
Well, it will come up on Sky at some point.
Yeah, probably the best time if you're not sure about it.
Yeah, and we can check it out then. I mean, I did try and watch some other musicals in the past, even with the missus, but she doesn't. She's not one for those, if you know what I mean. It's just the way it works.
Yeah.
I think I wanted. What's the one about the barber?
Sweeney Todd.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
and I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, with Johnny Depp.
It was, yeah, but for her, it wasn't. It's. I don't know. Some people just don't do musicals. I mean, I've got a couple of classic ones that I actually adore back in the day.
Mm. You're not going to say Seven Brides for Seven Brothers or something like that, are you?
Well, not far off of that. 'Cause my favourite musical of all time is as old as that.
The Hills Are Alive.
No, it's not that one either. Keep going.
Oh, I don't know.
It's Singing in the Rain, actually. And do you know what? Just forget about the music of it. The story is so clever that come the end of the film, when they're revealing who's miming because of the way the story is, it's just terrific, absolutely brilliant. And I've just won a bid on eBay. How about that? While we've been talking, I can do two things at once.
And what's your bid for again?
It's for In the Mouth of Madness, which is a John Carpenter movie that's never been on Blu-ray in this country.
Cool. And is it a Blu-ray?
Yes, it is. £13.
Nice.
So that's not too bad. But yeah, it's one of these films I've always wanted to see. It's Sam Neill.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that's like later. We'll sort of review it when it comes in the post.
Oh, Sam Neill always does good horror.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
He's done a few of them, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. But yeah, pretty cool. Star Trek.
Yes. So I've been Star Trekking it out this week because it was the Amazon sale. I dropped on there, and I know that you could already get it in other places, but I got Star Trek and Star Trek Into Darkness, both in 4K because I had them previously. Matter of fact, I've got the Steelbook version of Into Darkness.
Yeah, I've still just got the Blu-ray at the minute, so I'm not too fast. I mean, give it some time. If I really want to actually watch it again, I could probably then purchase the 4K, probably really cheap.
It's cheaper than a lot of the Blu-rays, but it's not that cheap, if you know what I mean. It's still £20. In matter of fact, the original, the Star Trek 2009, was actually more expensive than Into Darkness. It was £25, but it was still on the 2 for $30.
Right. Okay.
So I don't know what. Maybe they just had to get hold of the first one because it is 2008. It's nearly a decade.
Yeah, can you believe that?
No, because I knew it was 2009, but I was sat there and I was thinking, God, that's like 9 years. Where's that 9 years gone? Because to me, Chris Pine, he still feels quite fresh in the role, although, I think he's really made it his own in the last couple of movies.
Yeah, you can buy it for $14.75 at the minute on Amazon.
All right, well, brought it down then.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, well, they're always changing the prices, aren't they? They change them every 5 minutes.
I mean, unfortunately, they do a DVD pack for both, but they don't do a HD pack for that, I don't think.
Yeah, what's up with that? Why? Well, they'll probably charge you £40 if they did.
All right, they do a three movie pack
on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
4K. 4K, right? Yeah, is that about £30, £40?
You're nowhere near, mate.
How much?
65 notes.
Jesus, you can get all three separately for cheaper than that.
Well, if they were £20, it should be 60, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Right, so it's going to cost you £5 for a piece of cardboard to wrap them up in.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Whatever happened to buying in bulk?
Yeah, it is. Because they're all about $19.99 anyway,
Yeah.
But But yeah, no, I can't believe it's that old. That's incredible.
Okay.
But we've only had 3 movies in 10 years. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, Paramount.
No, need to be every other year so that Steve can start saying, I'm getting a bit sick of Star Trek now.
Yeah, start watching Star Wars? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What was the transfers like on the both films? Are you quite happy with them, or?
I think Into Darkness was actually the worst of the 2 transfers because I have watched Into Darkness on my 4K TV with a normal DVD. Excuse me.
And what was the what was the upscale like for that compared to the 4K itself? Was it as good as?
Well, it's not. It's a fake 4K, so to be honest, it wasn't really any different.
So the upscale would have been your player would have upscaled it on the TV or whatever, would have given you a bit of a tweak to it. So
yeah. So what I would say is, to be honest, Steve, if you're seriously thinking about upgrading, certainly don't do that with Into Darkness because you're not gaining anything at all.
No.
The original movie looked a little bit better, not as martly. I mean, it looks, even though it's only a 9-year-old film, because let's face it, that's not long. But when you compare the level of detail in that or to, say, Terminator 2, where they've done a specific, remaster of that for 4K, or you look at The Greatest Showman, or any of the other movies that are proper 4K, you can tell. You can definitely tell. It's not quite as grainy as an upscale because, if you're concentrating, you can see, the algorithm patterns, if you look close enough on an upscale. But you can't, it's not as good as a proper 4K movie, definitely.
Yeah.
So a bit disappointing, but I'm glad that I've got them in 4K, and it comes with a DVD. So I'll just send me all DVDs to Sex to sell.
Yeah,
but the other film that I put, which I haven't put on the list, is Extinction.
Yeah,
which is on Netflix.
It's pretty new to Netflix, isn't it?
It is, yeah. So, basically, a guy's plagued by dreams of an alien invasion, and he's a family man, and he faces his worst nightmare when aliens come to Earth and begin exterminating Earth's inhabitants. And it's a very unusual sort of style of film, to be honest. The aliens look organic in terms of their spacesuits, and it's really about him and his family trying to escape from these aliens and get to Sanctuary, which is a government facility. It's not called Sanctuary, but just get to a government facility is what they're told. Excuse me. And I've really enjoyed it, to be honest. Really enjoyed it. In terms of acting, it's got Michael Pena, who was on Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because he was Ant-Man's sort of sidekick on there. But also, I think he's probably the most famous person out of everybody who's on there, to be honest. It's not a massively well-known list of stars that are on there. But Liz Kaplan as well. I think she plays Lizzie Kaplan. I think she plays his wife. I've seen her on a couple of things. But basically, they're having a party. He keeps having these dreams. He's gone to try and get help, and he didn't get help. He walked away beforehand after speaking to this crazy guy at the place. He goes home, tells his wife, she's not happy. They start having a party, and then the invasion happens. And then they just, get chased out of the building. They have a conflict with one particular alien who's savagely trying to chase after them. And there's lots of twists in the plot as well. And it's really, what happened, I did not see. There is a bit that's a clue halfway through, and I thought, so there's something here, and it took me a while to realise, I didn't realise anyway, until the thing happened, that what was going on, because it's not quite, not everything's 100% as clear cut as you might think in this movie. So really well worth a watch. If you're on Netflix, get it watched, basically. I really enjoyed it. I'm sure that other people will as well.
Yeah, I'll add it to my list to watch.
It's got good production values as well. It's not like a B movie sort of effects. It's got really good special effects. So there you go. So
cool.
You've got tech talk, haven't you?
Well, I thought it's taken a little time to use my headphones. I thought I'd just have a quick chat about them after I've given them a bit of a. Is it a run-in the right word to use?
Yes.
Because you don't just get the best sound out of them straight off the bat when you plug them in first time round.
No, you don't.
You've got to give them at least 20 hours.
Okay, so we'll go on to tech talk.
From the laboratories of...
So, back in April, I picked up a pair of Status Audio CB1 closed-back studio monitoring headphones. Now, we all got our gaming headphones that we like to use. I've got some Turtle Beach there. I don't know what you use, Hayden. Have you got something similar that you like to use, have you?
For gaming, I use HyperX Cloud 2s.
Yeah. But I do like to just sit and listen to music. So, really wanted something just separately to get. And originally, Glyn put these on to me. He bought these himself. And I had a look at them and thought, well, okay. They look pretty good. Now, we get all these headphones out at the moment where we got all these ones that are advertised by all these superstars. We got the Beats and all sorts like that. But these aren't advertised. I suppose you can call them at a budget price, but they sound for much better from for the price is. Amazon do them for around 59 quid. And going to the reviews, looking on YouTube, you're talking at least 100 for these in what quality you're getting. And to be honest, I'm pretty surprised because now I've had my new amp recently, putting these on and hearing what I've been getting out of them for this music side is pretty good. I mean, the description for these is it says, meet the new studio workhorse designed for audio professionals who make a living with their craft. The CB1 closed-back studio monitor headphones deliver absolute sonic neutrality. Music producers and audio engineers will appreciate the accuracy and fidelity of these headphones and what they deliver. And I think that you can hear a pin drop on something when you hear it, so crystal clarity. So if you're looking out for some, I would give these a look. If you're looking for just for music, not gaming, but I have actually plugged them in for gaming as well, because now I've got the app with Xbox with Dolby Atmos for headphones. I use these on there. It comes with a couple of leads and an adapter, so you can either plug it into 3.5 or when you've got the large one for an amp, when you stick it in there as well. And they're very long leads as well, so there's loads of room there to move around with them as they're actually attached. But I thoroughly enjoy them, really do. I'd love to buy more headphones, but I don't, I don't go for what the masses buy, all this sort of, these Beats and that. I mean, they are pretty good, I must admit. But to pick something up for 59 quid, which is worth at least 100 plus, I think it's astounding, to be honest. I mean, check out YouTube videos and you can hear a few people what they say about them, and they're all pretty glaring reviews for them. You even get...
I was going to say, you'll have to send me a link to it, because I'm looking for something that I can listen to just normally. Yeah,
if you just check out Amazon and go for Status Audio, you'll see them there. You'll find them quite quickly. So I think they're worth their money, to be honest with you. They have 50mm drivers in there as well, so they're quite big ones. The ear pads do cover your ears completely as well, so they give you that closed cup for listening on your own in the quiet, where you don't want anyone to get involved. They're not noise cancelling, but that doesn't matter, to be honest. But yeah, very good headphones. I would recommend them highly. even if they didn't pay me. So, but yeah, I'll send you a link in a bit while we're chatting about while we're throwing things into Room 101, or what are we going to throw it into Room 101?
As the case may be. I have to admit, I actually picked up some new headphones the other week as well. The ones that no doubt a lot of our listeners will be very familiar with. But the version 2 of the PlayStation wireless headphones.
Yeah.
And I've been quite pleased with them, to be quite honest. Really quite nice sound quality. I was lucky because I managed to pick these up for, what was it, £35? And I think that their proper price is about £70.
Yeah.
But yeah, good sound quality, really easy to set up and, start using. So yeah, I would recommend those ones as well for gaming on the PlayStation. Obviously, it's not, and I think they will also work on the PC, although I've not tried it.
Yeah.
But it's certainly, obviously not going to work on your Xbox.
No, these will just if you plug into your
3.5-inch port.
Yeah, they will do.
Well, 3.5 mil rather, not inch, because that'd be a heck of a big.
God, that would be, wouldn't it?
Oh, matron.
But yeah, so I think I'm sending you across now. There you go. You can have a look at that.
Yeah, I'll have a look at those.
See what you think? So yeah, so they're $79 at the moment. But yeah, you even actually get. I even got an email from the from the CEO of the company saying thanks for buying them, which is quite interesting.
So did you buy them from the company? Did you say?
I bought them from Amazon, but the company who make them, their CEO, sent me an email saying thank you for purchasing such a good product and hope I'll enjoy them.
Oh, that's cool.
It's a bit different.
You'll have to drop him a tag to this, a link to this show then, won't you?
I will, actually. I will do that because I've still got the email for that, actually. I will drag one in.
Yeah.
It's always worth doing.
Yeah, certainly is. So, okay. Is anything else you want to say about the headphones?
Not at the moment. No, I say thoroughly recommend them. It's, yeah.
Right.
That's about it, really. Okay.
Well, in that case then, we'll move on to our big debate.
There was something missing.
And we've definitely got an interesting big debate this time, because we're not just debating one thing, because what we did last week was say to you all, we want to do a Room 101. So basically, if you're not familiar with 1984, Room 101 is where all of the evil stuff is put. And we wanted you to nominate things to actually put into Room 101. We did give you the option of if you wanted to record your entry with your reasons why, you could submit them, but nobody submitted one. But we have had some submitted from Facebook. So we'll start off with Nathan Ogden. And he's saying, and this is the one that links to what I was saying earlier on, the Ouya. He wants to put it in because it was terrible.
That's the polite word.
Well, it wasn't successful commercially, that's for sure.
No.
Although the company did go off to produce, the woman in charge of the company did actually go off and produce another one, which was equally not as successful. But the Ouya was a Android-based this gen platform, I suppose, or last gen sort of thing. It was brought out in 2013, so I suppose technically speaking that we're actually talking about this gen, aren't we? Because that's about the same time frame as the Xbox One and PS4. So in that respect, it doesn't come anywhere near the modern consoles. But it was based on Android, and you can try any game for free, and it plays in HD. And that was my Amazon Echo picking up on something in the background.
Actually, I think mine's on. Actually, I didn't actually turn her off, but she's been very quiet, so she's doing as she's told.
Yeah, mine obviously isn't doing as she's told, and I've now got a dog who's pestering me as well. So, what's your thoughts then, Steve? What do you know about the console itself?
Well, firstly, being Android-based, well, are we talking mobile phone games, really?
It could play more than mobile phone. Games that wouldn't necessarily go on a mobile phone, but it could play mobile phone games.
Yeah. And the design of the controller looks a bit naff, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It looks very basic, I think the word to use.
Yes. Yeah. I think that it was designed for comfort more than sexiness.
Yeah. And the size of the console
is tiny.
Is basically the size of your fist.
Yeah. It looks like a big egg cup upside down.
Yeah. It's... I mean, out of all the consoles there is, I mean, it's nice that you can probably... There's a lot of stuff there you might want to play.
Mm.
Graphically, though, it's not going to be... We're not talking high-tech here, are we?
No, I think that we're talking last gen at the best sort of graphics. Yeah. Although they did demo something that looked a bit like Gears of War that did look quite impressive.
Mm.
But I don't think that was ever actually released. Or at least I'm not aware of what that title was. If anybody does know, please let us know.
You can play you can play Final Fantasy 3 on it.
Yeah. Well, because that is such a demanding game, isn't it?
It's as demanding as my phone can.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a lot to it. There's only 3 leads you plug in there by the looks of it.
Yeah. And
power in and out.
And an SD card.
Yeah.
And that's about it. And a big power on button.
Yeah. $99?
It was originally. And it was originally launched as a Kickstarter. And they got something like 800 or 900% of what they were asking for. Mm. They got massive amounts more than what they were looking for. And a lot of people actually thought it was a fake console. You know the way there's all these rumours at the moment about the Atari console and whether or not it's real or not. Mm. Well, this was another one of those that people thought was a fake, but it actually turned out to be real. And they did deliver in terms of what they promised as well. And, I think it looked okay for the time, for what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were going to put it up against the Xbox, this would go in room 101. No doubt about it.
Mm.
But with it being Android, it means you can also use all of the Android other apps as well, such as the video streaming, a la Flickster.
Yeah, and plus the other ones that I use on my phone. I won't talk about it on air.
So I think it looks really quite, an interesting thing for 25 quid. I think at 100 quid, I think that people would be ripped off with this. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the backers paid for it. There was about 63,000 backers for this.
Yeah.
So there was quite a few, and they hit their target. Was it 9? I can't remember.
900% more than the target.
Yeah. So I remember seeing it being advertised outside E3 one year, wasn't it? And they had a tent, didn't they, outside? Do you remember that? And everyone was moaning about it. Whether or not it should go into a room to be lost forever, I don't know. I mean, most gaming consoles have their own charm. Maybe this does have some sort of charm.
Mm.
But only you can tell me that.
Yes, I'll have to tell you next week. Because hopefully it should be arriving tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I was expecting it to arrive yesterday because I ordered it on Friday, but obviously CEX have not been as their usually efficient self at getting it.
I mean, I've got a few Blu-rays that I've got doubles of now that I need to just throw in at CEX.
Mm.
So I might pay for one.
I'll tell you what, though, it's quite hard to find. There was only 5 in the country.
Really?
Really, at CEX, because you know that it shows you how many they've got in each store.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only 5 of them, so I've actually ordered it for delivery. Because the nearest one to me was Sheffield. I thought, well, I'll spend 20 quid in petrol. Well, maybe 10 quid, so I might as well just get it delivered.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm quite intrigued to see it. So are we going to stick it in room 101? Because it was a terrible idea.
I think from an idea, yes. But I need to see some video footage of you playing it.
Well,
to see whether it's worth it.
I actually put, if you look at the Facebook post where this question is, I've actually put a video in that's got somebody reviewing it.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought, right, I'm going to find out a little bit more, and I saw this and I thought, actually, some of the games look incredibly awful, but some of them don't look too bad. And I just thought, I think it's worth a little. I've never tried one. I fancied trying one when they came out just to see what they were like. And I thought £25, and so if I sell it to them back, I get about £16 back. So it's worth a punt, as it were. Just as a little try. So there you go. So I'm not going to put it in Room 101. I'll put the idea, the implementation of Ouya into Room 101, but not the actual console itself, because it's not the console's fault.
No, I can't judge it because I don't really know it, so that would be pig-headed of me just to throw it in there.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, then we'll go on to our second Room 101 suggestion, and I'm going to let you read it.
Is this Nicky's?
No, it's Craig's. And I think we could have done a whole show on this one.
Oh, he's got achievements.
Bless him, he did actually contact me and say, I'm not having a dig, honestly.
So I did enjoy them at first, but dropped off quite soon. It was encouraging me to play crap games for points and not hard, good games that I didn't give out did give him out the points. So I can see his point of view. Yeah. Also, although some studios seem to get achievements to give them for something special, majority didn't give them out sort of random stuff. We just play games for a long time, rather than discovering something different in the game. Not like, was it the Simpsons one, by pushing the A button gave you an achievement? Is that?
Yeah.
Remember rightly?
Well, there's also Monkey Island by, or was it Halo by pressing the back button, where it gave you 10 gamer score or whatever. I mean, to be quite honest, if you bought the game for that, you're really, really sad.
Mm. And there was another game where you could spam 1,000 gamer score, couldn't you? Do you remember?
Yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender. I borrowed that off my brother-in-law because he was desperate to try and catch up on a gamer score to me. Back when I had about 5,000. Yeah. So I went and borrowed it.
I like the idea of achievements still. I maybe don't look at them as much as I used to. If they pop, they pop. But sometimes if I've got a good game I've enjoyed, I may like to see what they are and maybe see if I can pinch a few more of them. But I think they do need a little tweak now.
Well, they've been on about the career mode, haven't they, for a while? Little snippets, no real detail.
I like Craig Cole's last moment of saying that, why haven't Nintendo jumped on the bandwagon?
Nintendo don't ever do anything that's, understandable.
They like to be different, don't they?
Yeah, they're too busy making cardboard.
Yeah,
and sending it to Steve for reviews.
Oh dear. But I over the years I used to when it first happened, I was always there trying to see what achievements to get, and I was sort of worried. Not worried. I was always looking to improve my score. Yeah. But these days, where I play more games more for fun now, if one puts up, that's great. I don't mind. If you're going to play a story narrative game, then you normally can get the majority of them anyway. Mm. But when they brought in the idea of the multiplayer gaming side of things, with some games you might not do that.
But some people only play multiplayer.
So it works both ways, really. There's people that like to play story side of stuff, and you'll probably get 700 for that, and then the other 300 is going to be for multiplayer side of games, Mm. But it's all right. I still like achievements for what they are and how they come up and everything else. Some people are a bit anal with them. There's a few...
Don't say that about our listeners. One particular listener who's been pulling my leg about it for ages as well. You know who you are, Nicky.
But I to be honest, I like achievements. I think it still holds something of it when something pops in, especially if it can be a rare achievement.
Yeah, I do like the implementation of the rare achievements.
Yeah, but they're only rare because not a lot of people. But
it's less than 10%.
Yeah, and also if the game comes out new, they're more likely to be a rare one than when the game's older. it might not be so rare, and you'll get it as a normal achievement.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
But it doesn't give you extra value.
No.
You just get... Well, you don't even see it, do you, other than a little diamond?
Yeah, and it goes ping. You know, so...
Do you think it's the right system? Do you think it's better than trophies? I mean, trophies, obviously Sony had a little bit longer on development because they didn't come in until first, what was it, after a year of, or 6 months or something?
For me, trophies are basically non-existent. I've only been on the PlayStation now for a year and maybe over a year now. Year and 4 months maybe. I've had a PlayStation Pro.
I thought it was longer than. Oh, I suppose. Yeah, it'd be just over a year, wouldn't it? Yeah.
So I think I picked it up February. So maybe 1.5 years. Maybe 1 year, 6 months, something like that. So for me, picking up achievements there on the trophies, I've got no investment there from a long time compared to Xbox that I do. I mean, it's nice when they pop, but I haven't tried to go out there and collect them all and go for their idea of a platinum yet.
I mean, in terms of that, do you think having platinum, gold, silver, bronze is a better way of doing it?
I don't know really. I mean, it means it's more trophies to find, isn't it? If you got it that way round.
Yeah.
Physically.
Well, no, because it's still the same achievements, but...
Oh, is it? Okay.
But because if you look, in terms of the way that PlayStation do it, is that the platinum is sort of like an extra achievement to what you would get on an Xbox, because it says you've got all of the achievements.
So if you got 1,000 for whatever, then you'd pick that up for that way around, wouldn't you? Yeah, I know what you're saying by that. I mean, I'm trying to see if I can find I'm looking at my PlayStation app to see if I can see me. There we go. So it says I've got six trophies, six stars. So that's, I'm not sure what that means now. That's a total of 225 trophies. Is that right? Is that how that works?
Well, it tells you how many trophies for platinum, gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah, and then you've got a level up system there, haven't you?
Yeah.
Which I'm on 6. 6 and a third. And I've got 183 bronze, 30 silver, and 12 gold. It's not a lot, is it?
No, it's not a lot, but what does it... It doesn't mean anything. None of it means anything. The only person it means anything to is you. And also to anybody who wants to have bragging rights about, oh, I've done this, that and the other. You know, I've seen people, posting on various places saying, oh, I've got, 20 platinums, I've got whatever. It's like, yeah, great. Well, I've, completed 75 games on Xbox, and it doesn't matter. Somebody actually said to me that their reason why they thought trophies were better than achievements is because you look at the platinum and you can immediately see how many games a person has actually completed. But that's rubbish, because not every game has a platinum. So the system is immediately broke.
Yeah. I mean, if I look at a scroll at all the games I have, just for curiosity's sake, Hidden Agenda, I'm 79%.
So you're getting a lot of platinums on trophies on that, then, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm 79%. And there's probably I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 to get, then you get the platinum after that.
Yeah,
which is 10.
See,
so
in terms of that, I'm nowhere near that.
And Persona 5, I'm 50%. And I finished that game.
Yeah.
I'm on my second playthrough. Which I need to go back to that at some point. Detroit Become Human, 10% at the minute. Well, then I'm still only a third way through the game there.
So what was the first game that you said that you got 90%?
79.
Yeah.
Hidden Agenda.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said I was thinking Detroit. I don't know why.
No, Detroit, I've only got 10%. Remember, I'm only a third of the game, aren't I?
Yeah, I got about 39% on that.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of a lot of these sort of things, I don't know whether or not you use... Well, I know that you use the Xbox version, but the true achievements, you also have true trophies.
Yeah, I am on there.
Yeah, which is... I think that both trophies and achievements work better with something like that gives that bit of analysis that tells you how many games you've actually completed. Because if a game doesn't have a trophy, you can't rely on counting the platinums. I mean, I've got 13 platinums, but I've done all of the achievements in 15 games because 2 of the games didn't have platinums. So, but I don't play a lot on the PlayStation, so, having that number of platinums doesn't really mean a lot.
No, no. I mean, when I look at Destiny on there, where's Destiny? It's not in place, not in order actually, is it? So I completed Uncharted 4, so I only got 14% of that.
Yeah, and that's because the different ways. So, like on the Uncharted thing, they do a lot of you have to find all the treasures because there's normally about 100 of them or something to collect. But also there is the weapon achievements where you have to get so many kills with each different type of gun. And that's sort of like what racks it up. And the same with the Order and, all of the Uncharted series. They're all of their achievements are like that.
Yeah.
I mean, to my mind, that I love looking at achievements. And one of the reasons why I love looking at achievements is... Really, I'm not that bothered about the gamer score, to be honest.
Well, you are, though, surely, because you do like to get the thrill of actually getting the bragging rights over some certain people sometimes, don't you? Do you think? Come on, be honest. Be honest.
To be honest, the only times I've ever really quite liked having the bragging rights is when you're talking to people who sum you up as, a father who doesn't know anything about video gaming, if you see what I mean.
Oh, when you roll into somewhere like game, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I've had that thing.
Yeah,
I
that sort of thing. Or when you go to somewhere and then your wife introduces you to somebody and then they turn around and, look at you and they say, oh, he likes gaming, he can talk a lot. And you can see the look in the face because they're like, in the late teens, early 20s, and they look at you as if, what can you know that I don't know about video gaming?
Oh, I've had the same thing when I've been talking to someone. They say, "Oh, do you play the Xbox?" I said, well, of course I bloody do. What am I here for? I'm not here for a child.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Lego Indiana Jones. I'm just looking at my Xbox achievements. I'm just going through the achievements app. It's quite handy. You can go through that. Lego Indiana Jones, I got 92%. I was a bit short on that one.
Is that the one that's got... Oh, no, it's Lego Indiana Jones 2 that's got 100 gamer score for the last level. Oh, not for the last level, for completing the game in a separate mode. But you have to do all of the levels. So you can bomb through it, but it'll take you a few hours.
Yeah.
I've never been bothered about going back to that, to be honest.
No, I'm going to go back to some old ones here. So what we got here? So, for some unknown reason, Mass Effect 3, I've only got 9%.
Did you complete the game?
I can't remember. Maybe I didn't.
I didn't complete the game. I just couldn't be bothered with it, to be honest.
Yeah. So I'll go back to some 360 games. Let's have a look what we got here. Fable 3, 55%. Now I finished that game. Portal's still alive, 12%, but I'm sure I finished that. They do. It's funny how some of these games actually work. Destiny, I think Destiny's 85%, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
But then some of those are, Destiny 8, I've got 53 achievements. I've got 1,285 out of 1,500 on that one. What else did I finish? Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, 29%. But again, that's all collecting, isn't it, again?
Yeah.
Fallout 3, there you go, 100%. 1,550 out of 1,550.
If I was to do that, if I was to say that for a Bethesda game, I would have to say Oblivion, because I 1250'd that.
I have only done 28%, believe it or not, 19 achievements.
Well, you see, I completed everything in that game, and they got the Royal Armour as well.
So it's the same way that I did that with Fallout 3.
Yeah.
And just browsing through, because there's a couple of games I've not played yet. I've got some games that I've not actually opened the box. Well, I've opened the box, but I've not actually played them. Witcher 3. I should really play that game. 2%.
That's bad.
That is, isn't it? I've completed Bioshock, and that was 26%. Let's have a look here. Scrolling through. Burnout Paradise, I said, played a fair chunk of that. That was 39%. Diablo 3, 74%. Not played that for a while, actually.
I was looking at playing that again the other day. Today, actually.
Crackdown, now I completed that game and collected all those big orbs, that 500 orb session. I only got 56% of that game. Gallagher, do you remember that on the old 360?
Yeah.
92%. Fable Anniversary, no, I'm only still playing that because I've not played that before. Resident Evil 7, I completed that game, that's only 30% done. Inside, I completed, that's only 28%. So there's a theme there with these games, isn't there? Alan Wake, I completed, 39 trophies, achievements at 47%.
You see, Alan Wake, I did quite a lot of that one. As a matter of fact, that is my third highest achievement percentage rated game. The highest one I've got is actually Goat Simulator in terms of the percent, the true achievement sort of score.
Yeah.
And then Burnout Paradise would be the next one. And then after that, it's Alan Wake, and then Minecraft Story Mode. And then The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. They're the top 5 that I've got there. Or Just Cause at number 6.
I'm using the app, so it's not going to go in order, unfortunately.
But this is a true achievement score as well, because they work out the ratio of, the difficulty in terms of what everybody else has got.
Yeah.
And a look at DLC and all of that sort of stuff as well.
So LA Noire first time round was 46%, and I completed that.
Yeah.
Which I haven't completed on the remaster yet. Bioshock Infinite, completed that. Oh, that was on the 360 though, that I'm looking at now, because it's some of the 360 games. Star Trek DAC, did you ever play that?
Yes, I did. Star Trek DAC.
Yeah.
It wasn't very good.
No, but it had the music in it, didn't it?
It did.
Just scrolling, going back, I'm trying to find Red Dead Redemption, because that game was one of the ones that was a toughie to do. And because I haven't played it for so long, I can't even find it on my... I'm going back now, and I've got stuff like Modern Warfare 2 I'm looking at. Explosion Man, the Beatles Rock Band. God dear me. I'm going back in time here.
Yeah.
I still can't find it. Top Spin 3. You can't search for a particular game in this, can you, I don't think?
No, you can't. That's why you need true achievements and to be able to find it properly. Yeah.
Do you know what? If I keep scrolling, the last ones there, King Kong. There you go, 100%. Which I think I did that over a weekend.
It only took 2 hours.
Well, I was ill. I was really ill with the flu at that time.
Oh, fair enough.
And I had been painting as well. But God, there's a lot of games there.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've just been looking at true achievements and true trophies, and between the PlayStation and the Xbox, I've 1K'd or platinumed 26 games this year. That's not bad going.
Well, I like to ask Nicky about that and what his thoughts are.
Yeah, I noticed that Nicky was playing Rare Replay. I think he was trying to catch up on Gamerscore.
Yeah, that's it. But the thing is, what is now is this is a game you didn't actually play and you got 0%, you can actually delete it.
Yes, yeah. And I think that's a good move, but I don't think you can do that on a PlayStation. I'm not 100% sure. I've not really invested in it.
No.
But yeah, I think that was a good move by Microsoft, because sometimes you load a game and you don't actually want, you just want to try it, but you don't want it sat there with 0% for the rest of eternity. Although I must admit, it's never really bothered me. I'm not bothered about percentage rating either. What I'm bothered about in terms of games is, what I like about achievements is seeing the stuff that you miss. And that's where achievements come into their own. I don't like hidden achievements. I don't mind if they want to say, we'll hide it, but you have to tell us that you want to see it. But I don't like secret achievements where the only way to unlock it is to actually do it. And especially games where it's like, the first South Park game, where it was, you had to do a specific level with a ginger beard and a dress or something or other like that, where it's silly things that the only way you're going to find out about it is either to look it up, be told, or hit it by accident. They're the only way that you're going to actually be able to see what that, to get that achievement. And that's just ridiculous. To me, achievements should be skill-based and they should be worth actually, going for. That, personally, there should be either natural progression through the game or, something that will direct you to complete a game in a different way, or do something different, step out of the blinkered-eyed view of playing that game and, explore the area a little bit more and reward you in that way. If achievements are done like that, I think that achievements are good. What is poor is games like Avatar, where you can get 1,000 gamer score in 42 seconds. Because I got 1,000 gamer score in 42 seconds from a cold boot of the 360. It's the quickest I've ever got gamer score, I think.
Yeah.
Ever on a game. So, and to be honest, I only wanted to do it because I wanted to see if it was true that they made a game that was so ridiculously easy. And PlayStation has their equivalents as well on trophies. Games like Slide. That's a very easy game of score for a couple of quid in a couple of minutes. So anybody who's like, and for some reason, some people boast about the platinum levels because they reckon it's harder to get on PlayStation. It's not. They're exactly the same trophies if they're on both formats. Yeah. You just get an extra one on PlayStation.
I mean, true achievements, I just logged on to mine. So it tells you how many achievements you've got physically got then, isn't it? That's interesting, yeah. So it won't be nothing like yours, obviously. Got the challenges and everything else in there, isn't it? Yeah.
It tells you how many videos and everything. Anybody who is on not heard of True Achievements, have a look at the website. Put in your details, for your gamer card and whatever. It is really helpful because if you're stuck on a game or you want to know how to get a specific achievement, you can also look at that as well. Personally, I tend to go back to that. If I've enjoyed a game, I'll play the game and then go back to that to see what I could have missed that I might want to invest in.
Because if you go to your game collection, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Is this done chronologically?
It can be done in various different ways, I think, on there.
Yeah, because I'm looking at, I can see like Halo Wars, and there's a few here that I've not touched for a while, which is quite interesting. We don't talk about Cuphead though, do we?
The truth about Cuphead is that we don't talk about Cuphead.
Yeah, no, that's it. Is there any achievements you thought you wanted to get because you like the idea of the achievement? Because obviously there's some different types there that are really tough to get.
Yeah, I mean, one of the hardest achievements is it Mile High Club on one of the Call of Duties, Modern Warfare, isn't it? Where you've got to go through Air Force One in like a minute. And there's, on on veteran mode. And while I'd love to get that achievement, I'm not going to invest that amount of time in it. I tried it a couple of times and I thought, I can't be bothered. I really can't be bothered. There's more to life than chasing 10 achievements for the say so of I got that achievement. So while we do have a laugh about me being an achievement whore. Personally, I like achievements because, it gives you some feedback from the game in terms of you've done something that you were supposed to do or whatever. And it's quite nice in the situations, where you are an older gamer and you are looked down upon. Quite often, you're talked down to in places. And then when people realise what your gamer score is, they suddenly stop talking to you, down to you and talking to you, which is much better, because nobody likes being talked down to.
No.
But, you do get that, like you're a fat, stupid dad sort of syndrome, like on all of the adverts as well, where for 99% of adverts, for some reason, if you're a father, you've got the IQ of a gnat's gonad. And I've never understood why. Why is it, such a good thing? It's like you look, even if you go back to the 70s where they were advertising butter, there was always a father who was pressing his face onto the, shop window going, Flora, get some Flora. Do you remember those adverts? It's stupid. Why? But so I hate all of that sort of stuff. And it's just one of the things that you can use as, to establish a conversation with people sometimes. Yeah,
that's it. So I've just gone to Red Dead Redemption on there. And one of the achievements I got was called Redeemed.
Yeah.
That's attain 100% in the single-player game completion stat. Unlocked by 37,961 tracked gamers. That's 14% ratio, which equals 2.63%. And that I remember trying to get that because you had to collect all the flowers, shoot all the animals. But I had fun. That's a great game. I really look forward to the new one.
I wasn't a big fan of it, but I'm looking forward to seeing what they produce, as long as it's not GTA with horses again.
Well, that was the sort of idea of what it was anyway, wasn't it?
It is, but I think they could do more with it, to be honest.
But the single-player story was a great story.
Yes, I just couldn't get through it personally. I struggled with it.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I wouldn't put. We've got times cracking on here. Wow, is it 10 o'clock already?
Yeah. Okay.
I would not put achievements in.
No, I think that there is a thing of being obsessive with achievements, and while I am accused of that sometimes, I'm not, because I won't just do anything. But I do like playing a variety of games, which is why I have lots of unusual achievements. But no, I think that there is a danger with them, but I think that they're a positive thing, and they always have been since they've been invented, and the trophies as well. So no, I'm not going to stick it in room 101 either.
No,
I'm surprised that I was edged on. I didn't know which way you were going to go, to be honest. I thought that you might have gone a negative.
Well, no, I mean, I'm not so fussed these days about getting achievements, but I like the challenge sometimes.
Yeah. So sometimes if you look in and you see that an achievement, you think, actually, that might be quite fun to do. I think it can give you quite a rewarding experience in the game.
Yeah.
So we did have some more, but we'll just do Nicky's because he hasn't given us a lot. He said Facebook.
I'm just going to say I'd gladly throw that in, to be honest. It's been more trouble than it's worth. We do use it a lot. It's got its pluses and its bonuses for us.
Yes. But
I could easily stick it in there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you know what? I would agree with you as well, because this all started when, you and me doing this. The original part of it that started was creating a Facebook group, which, we've, renamed and all that since. And that group at times, and so I'm not being nasty to anybody here, but that group at times did have us both tearing our hair out, not because of anything that we'd done, but other people that was around it. And since we've gone over to being this show, it's been so much nicer, I think.
Yeah. And the dog agrees by the sounds of it.
Yes. I think my dog's a bit spooked because the lights are off, so I'll just switch the lights on. So, yeah, he's a little bit spooked because it was all in the dark.
Okay.
So I've switched the lights on now. So, yeah, but now, no, but back then, yeah, there was times I'd wish I'd never started the group. You know, when we had people arguing and all that. There's no need for arguments. We're all gamers. Let's all just get on together and just have.
No, I think it was probably down to other
parties,
people from past.
Yes.
Should we say that we're not involved in anymore?
Yeah. So with that, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Because time is marching along. So we'll go to our listener questions.
John, what's happening to us?
Okay, so listener questions for tonight. We have Mark kicking off as normal with, how many different games do you play on average a month?
I'm not even going to answer that question. It's down to you, I think, isn't it?
Well, not how many do you do? Come on.
Different games?
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it's a repeat of a previous game or anything.
I could play a couple of games in an evening, but then I could stick to one for a week and a half. Depending on when I need to play Destiny. Yeah, when you've got that scratch to scratch. It depends on my mood, to be honest. In a month, I could be playing one game, and some people really moaning at that, weren't they, at one point? That all I played was one game.
Yes, you did get into trouble for that.
I did, didn't I?
I always try to even it out for you, and I still always do try and even it out for you by playing lots of games. Well, that one can also get achievements.
In this month, in this week, 'cause it's been a bit of a tough week. I've only played 3 games, but one of those was so far now I'm cracking up 19 hours. So
yeah, it's not necessarily how many games you play; it's how long you play them for.
Exactly. So it can be debatable on that. Wait till September comes, though. That's going to be difficult.
Yeah. I think for me, the main problem for me is if I can't find a game that I've got a latch on, I'll be flitting around until something sticks. So sometimes I can play an extraordinary amount of games. But I would say I probably at least play 4 or 5 different games a week. And you know, that might be one with one long story, and then another 3 or 4, you know, just dipping in and out, as it were.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it depends on what mood I'm in, because sometimes, you know what yourself, sometimes you think, I really can't be bothered with, like, Detroit tonight, so I'll play Pac-Man or whatever.
Well, yeah, I mean, funny you say that. I mean, I didn't mention it anyway, but like just for 15 minutes, I just put 911 on, operator. I
know, I saw you playing that because I was going to message you to say, do you want to play No Man's Sky and I'll help you? And then I saw you playing that and I thought, okay, I won't disturb you.
Because I was busy answering the phone. Someone was trying to chop the leg off. No, but no, I was just chilling out for a bit because I was about to do something else.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But yeah, I'm one that I could put an old game in from 3 years ago and start playing it if I'm in the mood.
Yeah, so can I. So, okay. Shall we, do you want to do Mark's next question?
Yeah, sorry, I was miles away. Yeah. When was the last time you played a few hours of a game and then left it for months, only to then to go back and then have to start again because you've forgotten what you were doing or even what the controls are? I think it's one of the things.
No Man's Sky, so this week.
No, I haven't. I don't think of a game that I have at the moment, actually. Even though you could say that Final Fantasy 15.
I was going to say Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, I think that comes under it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I actually, you won't believe this. Guess what game I booted up today? First time in about a couple of years.
Halo?
No, we've played Halo before then.
I haven't a clue. Go on.
We're not going to argue over it. Fallout 4.
Shit, okay.
I lasted about 2 minutes and I thought, there's a reason why I hated this game. I switched it off. I just can't get on with that game. I don't know what it is. But I was starting to play it. I thought, I can't remember any of the controls. I couldn't even remember how to get into the menus or anything. So
yeah, it does take a little. Just remember to bring up the pit boy and everything else like that. It might take you a couple of minutes to work that one out.
yeah, but no, not for me, not for me. So that's it, done and dusted and deleted off my hard drive. You can't like every game.
No, you can't. It's just one of those things.
Okay, so we'll move on to Facebook then. So,
yeah, go on then.
Alan Cochrane, I know you were big sci-fi fans, so I was just wondering what your thoughts were on the movie Arrival. I really enjoyed it when I first watched it at the cinema, but after picking it up on Blu-ray, I found it a bit boring.
I haven't seen this yet.
Right.
No, I have put it on my to-do list with Amazon Prime because it is there to watch. All I will say about this is that Denis Villeneuve directed this, who also directed Blade Runner 2049. So that's why it's sitting in my list to do.
Yeah.
You got Jeremy Renner in it.
Yeah.
Who's a great actor for the. Well, he's a bit of a quiet Marvel actor, isn't he? Really, he doesn't pop in all the time like the others.
Yeah.
Forrest Whitaker's in it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do need to see this movie. Is it a bit of a slow burner though? I'm led to believe.
Is
that true?
It is. Yeah. I think you'll enjoy it. To be honest, I enjoyed it. But I know what he means. It's a slow movie like Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has won an Oscar, mind you.
Yeah.
For best sound editing. So.
And didn't it also win another Oscar for the best non-Blade Runner, really slow-moving movie?
No, don't take the mick out of that. I'm sorry, you're crossing a line here, which you're getting very into trouble for.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, next question.
Okay.
Should I do? Chris Pedersen says, "What is your biggest gaming letdown?" I can say that straight off the back. That's Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay, I would agree.
So, I should go back to it, really, but I haven't got any inkling of trying.
I keep looking at it and think, I want to finish it, but I just can't be bothered. It's the Sudoku that killed it for me. That was the last straw. I could get past the bad dialogue and the rubber face thing.
To get past the Sudoku, maybe just have them on tap on the phone to how to do
but
it.
then
Just get me through them.
Yeah, but I'd still have to actually put them in. And that's what's putting me off. And also, all of that messing about, driving about the planet as well. It took the worst aspect of Mass Effect, the previous series, and put it back in. So, I'd have rather been scanning the planet, to be quite honest, and driving around on it. So Mass Effect Andromeda for both of us.
Okay.
So, Oliver Brooks, if you could meet one person that you haven't already met at a convention, who would you pick?
You first.
No, I'm going to let you go first. I asked the question.
Well, you know mine, and I'm going to be meeting him in October. And that's John Carpenter.
Well, okay, but if it wasn't John Carpenter, then who would it be?
Who would it be? I tell you, it would be a bit of a difficult one because he always fails to go to conventions.
Oh, Jonathan Frakes?
Yeah.
No, he always fails to go to conventions in England.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, because he's cancelled out.
He's too busy working on the Orville, that's what it is.
Personally, if I was the organisers of Destination Star Trek, I'd ban him. Because it's not on. It really isn't on. He's letting fans down all the time, and let's face it, he's got there on the back of fans. So, because if people weren't invested in Star Trek, he wouldn't be getting invited to Star Trek conventions. So it annoys me, stuff like that.
It's funny because we've actually been quite close to quite a few sort of stars, haven't we? Even just going to the Star Trek Destination.
Yeah.
I mean, we were in the vicinity of some of the iconic 80s actors and actresses.
Well, Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah.
Well, other than William Shatner, George Takei, Walter Koenig.
Yeah. Actually, even because you didn't go to it, I was on my own at this, but when I was about 15 feet away from Leonard Nimoy's son.
Yeah.
I was in quite early.
I thought you took a photograph of him.
I did, yeah. That was a bit of that was a quick off the spur moment one.
Yeah.
But Greg Guttenberg from Heroes. because he was the host of the talk. I mean, Nicholas Meyer, the director for Star Trek II, the Wrath of Khan. A couple of young ladies that you went to a different talk, didn't you?
Yeah, it was a Trekkie Girls or whatever they're called, wasn't it? That you?
No, I went about the two girls from the shows. One that married Leonard Nimoy's son, actually.
No, I saw them.
Yeah, you did.
And the both the ones who played Dax, Jadzia Dax. Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
Terry Farrell.
But what about anything?
Or Terry Nimoy now.
Yeah, Terry Nimoy. That's a weird name, isn't it? So any others that you can think relates elsewhere other than sort of this sort of genre? Are we going
to say Alive or Dead?
Oh, we've got to be alive because you'd like to.
Okay, because I was going to say I would love to have met Stephen Hawking. But who would I like? Sometimes I toy with the idea would like to meet Mark Hamill, but I just think that sometimes he comes across he's got good humour, but sometimes when he talks about Star Wars now and before he joined, the Last Jedi, or The Force Awakens, he's had periods where he's been tremendously negative about his experience in it, and then when he's working for them, it's all nice and rosy, and then he gets very critical again. And I'm not really sure what's that about, so I'm not sure whether or not I'd like to meet him or not. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I've just thought of one, actually, because obviously thinking about movies and directors and what have you, and obviously from the horror genre, Carpenter's top of my list. But actually there's someone else that's a director. I'd love to meet Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice. Or George Lucas.
Yeah, I'd be fascinated to just tell him your thoughts on the films they did, and do you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. It's.
I think the thing is, though, is anything that we said to him about how those films made us feel, it'll be important to us, but he'll have heard it from a million other people. Yeah, and that's a sad thing because everybody will be telling him their story, and it'll probably be very similar most of the time.
But then I'm sure they still appreciate it, though.
Yeah, I'm sure that they do. But it must get a bit grindy. Yeah. Okay.
Me, Craig Cole.
Yes.
Pool or beach? Quickly.
Pool.
Beach. Last question.
All right, I like this one actually. So Paul Wilson asks, with J.J. Abrams having past experience at the helm of Star Trek and Star Wars movies, would it be a good idea to cross-over movie with Kirk coming across the Empire in a galaxy far, far away and doing battle until the bitter end? In my opinion, if any director could pull that off, it would be J.J. So a cross Star Trek, Star Wars movie. Good idea or bad idea?
That's too close for comfort.
It's not for me. There's a very clear answer for me.
What's that, a yes?
It's a God, no.
I tell you what, I mean, I like how I like Star Trek. And, all right, Star Wars, okay, but it's a different universe in a different way. And even though there was which comic did it? They did was it a Star Trek crossover with Doctor Who?
Yes, that was terrible.
Didn't they?
Yeah, that was terrible. That was a bad idea. They've also done a Star Trek crossover with the X-Men. Again, a very, very terrible idea. It's not a good idea to mix franchises in that way.
I tell you one that actually worked in a way, completely off the genre. But we had the movie Jason, with Friday the 13th / Nightmare on Elm Street, we had Jason Voorhees versus Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
And that worked well.
Yeah, that worked well. And you also had Alien versus Predator. That didn't work well, but it worked. But God, no, it's... Yeah, you're trying to combine petrol and diesel and make a solar-powered car. It doesn't work. It doesn't work in any way, shape or form. The references to technology are completely different. Nothing works because it's like, the Empire uses lasers. Well, it was established well early on that the Enterprise is completely resistant to, its basic armor is resistant to lasers. That was established in the Next Generation. So effectively speaking, the Death Star laser that blew up a planet, the Enterprise could just park in front of it and just stop it. The two genres are two franchises that should never ever be mixed, just like Doctor Who shouldn't have been mixed with Star Trek, and neither should X-Men. They're just not appropriate at all.
True.
It's... I can't think of a worst combination. Even though I love both of them absolutely, I wouldn't add them together.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's it then.
We're done. We're done. So, do you want to do the pleasantries and your bit?
So Twitter at Steve007, PSN ID, The Real Steve007, Xbox Steve007, and my little YouTube channel, which is getting off the ground, The Steve007. There you go.
So have you've managed to rename it now?
It's just that name's always been there, actually, funny enough.
I thought you had to have 100 subscribers.
No. I've only got 12. Bless it. Hey. But I think, because I had some old videos which I've now deleted, but the views on it is over 1,000.
I think what we should do is just do a playlist of your videos on the Pop Culture Gamers YouTube channel, which we do need to actually get more people subscribing. So please just type in Pop Culture Gamers and come along and subscribe to us, and I'll do links to some of the videos that I've done as playlists in there as well. I
mean, my latest one, I've done one for the Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
So I've got that on there, both sides of that single. So yeah. Anyway, do you want to do your contact?
Yep. So my YouTube is Haydn Rhys-Jones. A very original title there, as you can tell. But YouTube wouldn't let me name it anything else. My Twitter is, Twitter, PSN, Xbox Live, Steam, and everything else is HERJUK. And you can also email me at herjuk@popculturegamers.co.uk. We have a Facebook group, which you are more than welcome to come along and join. Just answer the couple of security questions so that we know that you're not a robot trying to get in. Unless, of course, you are a replicant, in which case then we'll just send a Blade Runner around.
That'd be me.
Yeah. So the any inquiries that you've got, you can email podcast@popculturegamers.co.uk, and our website is popculturegamers.podbean.com. And that's it for another show. So that's show number 17, and it's a wrap. And with that, it's a good night from me.
And good night from him.
Good night.
Good night.
You are about to witness history in the making.